Oh wait. Three, two, one, live. Ladies and gentlemen, Metal Maniacs, episode 8. Top 20
Hey,
guitarist list.
hey,
Yeah.
it's Dr. Earl here with YR, and tonight we had had a couple others as well participate this. We'll try to get them on the call here. But basically, this is our homage to all the guitar players that we all enjoy listening to, inspired us to play, and basically all the and what Dang gummit, I lost track of what I was trying to say here, folks. My bad.
Top 20 guitarists, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Top 20 guitarists on our list. It doesn't have to be, it could be very well known or lesser known. Like there's a couple here that some may not know, but on my particular list, it could be someone like Alan Holdsworth or Steve Howe from Yes, or it could be Robert Fripp from King Crimson, or
Bro, there's going to be a lot of people. Hold on, bro. It's not, there's
uh,
going to be a lot of people that we never heard. There's going to be a lot of people that we had the same people on the list.
yeah, it's
Now,
true.
let's go
Yes.
ahead and reel it back. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? We have you and me's list. We have a
Yeah.
list from Keith Barber.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a guitarist list. It's a sidebar list.
Ah.
We have a list from Dave Rose,
All right.
and the final list, surprise guest list,
Oh,
Detroit's own Simo
all right.
sent in a list as well. Now we might have
Nice.
both of those guys in on the show to discuss that and everything like that. But let's get with the news, the rock and roll news, Doctor
Yeah.
Brown,
Well,
that you
well,
have.
though, I was going to report this last night. Brian May from Queen, as you know, suffered a heart attack. I don't know what the details of what caused it or where it happened at or whatever the fuck happened there, but the amounts of love and support that this man has been getting since that happened has been tremendous, from what I understand, because it goes to show how people still love Queen and how much their music meant to them. Especially now with
Yes.
now in this generation, amidst the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, there are songs being used from the other movies and shit. And the fact that they're still on touring right now with singer Adam Lambert filling in for, or excuse me, trying to fill in for Freddie Mercury's shoes. You know, it's kind of
Yo, how in the fuck does that video I put up with the 45 counts? How does that have 278 views already? It's
I
more
don't.
views than we get on Metal Maniac.
Wow, yeah, already that's something. But I think it's because it shows how people are capable.
125 thumbs up, bro. Look at this.
Wow, let
Yo,
me.
hold on. I'm a screenshot. Look at this, bro. I'm a
Wow,
screenshot. Bro, that's crazy.
wow, wow.
All right, y'all, you about to see the picture.
Okay,
3, 2, 1. Look at that. 125 thumbs up, 278 views.
all right.
What the fuck?
Now, for those who don't know what we're talking about here, YR showed it a little clip on his channel here, stating that somebody has about, what was it, 45 accounts. And there's all other accounts that other people that we know within this community here. And it has received about, according to this, 278 views. And this was 7 hours ago. And very surprising to me because, but then again, it's not really surprising because it shows how people are capable of coming up with all these particular accounts, using other people's accounts and other people's names, or coming up with names of their own. And basically, it
Bro,
shows
that's
how
crazy.
I know but it shows how diabolical people are when it comes to this kind of shit here.
All right, so let's dive back in the news.
Okay.
Brian May's situation,
Yeah.
cancer, stuff like that. SEMO
No,
can
it's not.
relate.
No, not cancer.
Oh,
It was a heart attack, But he's recovering fine, so he should be back at his full self in the near future. There. In the meantime, I guess Queen is not touring now amidst the COVID-19 bullshit that we got going on right now. In fact, nobody,
right.
as we all,
There's
nobody
two.
is to what?
There's two concerts I want to see. I want to go see KK's Priest, and I want to see Judas, because there's Judas Priest supposed to do like the 40th anniversary tour, right?
50. It was a 50
50?
anniversary
Was it
tour.
50?
Yeah, it's
All right,
50
yeah,
years.
50.
Yeah. Now,
Compare to the shows,
Yeah, yeah. Now, here's my question here. Now, Glenn Tipton, as we know, their lead guitarist, as you know, has been suffering from Parkinson's disease for the past four or more years. And on their last tour, they was most of that position was filled in by a guy named Andy Sneap, who was a heavy metal producer and guitarist of his own. He has a band of his own called Sabbath, which is Sabbath without the H at the end. And I guess are they going to be touring with both Sneap and Tipton in the lineup, or what? I don't know.
No, in the lineup, it's KK Downey.
No, I'm talking about Judas Priest, because as you
Oh,
know,
it's Richie Faulkner.
I know I'm Richie Faulkner, but who's going to be filling in for the licks and leads of Glenn Tipton? Because as you know, as I mentioned, Andy Sneap had to do most of the rhythm guitar playing, while Richie had to do all the leads, mostly Glenn's leads on some of the songs there, and there was a couple times where Tipton himself was able to make it out during the encores. So, but here's the question: are they going to do this tour with both Sneap and Tipton in the lineup if they do this 50th anniversary tour, along with Richie Faulkner, Ian Hill, and Rob Halford, and Scott Travis? That's my only concern about if they ever decide to do this tour like they wanted to. And most likely,
No,
probably,
they'll do the same lineup they've been doing recently.
now, which will probably be Sneap filling in for Glenn Tipton, I guess. So we'll have to see how that goes. Of course, we have to wait till about probably next year till all the bands start touring again. People will be able to stand next to one another without worried about catching anything, let alone wear a damn mask over their damn face. I'm ruined that day where we're able to walk down, do all that, hopefully by the end of this summer. You know.
Now, what did you have anything else in the news there?
There was something, not that I know of. I know you posted something about the Dropkick Murphys.
You gotta read that. Read that article.
Okay, let me
About,
get put up here. It's they did this thing called, I guess it's somewhere in Boston, I think it is. Let me pull it up here. And I guess the Dropkick Murphys did something at Fenway Park, and I guess they played their first great rock show at the pandemic era with a little help from Bruce Springsteen. Now, with 8 musicians in their current touring incarnation, someone playing the bagpipes as well, Boston roots punk gods, the Dropkick Murphys, are one of the only bands practically qualify as a mass gathering in their own right. But with their
Are they? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Now
yeah,
that
yeah,
band, is that a '90s band from the Southie Boston area, or
yes, I guess so. Where Joe Cronin resides, they're from the 1990s. I guess they're like a Irish punk band, I guess, and
so? Obviously, Cronin probably likes them.
maybe.
He's probably a fan.
Yeah, so they managed to put on the most loudest, joyful show of the pandemic with help from Bruce Springsteen. I guess all it took
The
was
boss.
yeah, all it took was an eerie, empty Fenway Park, a few cameras, most of them on flying drones, and a work-from-home God legend joining them on from the studio in his New Jersey farm. Now they spread around the baseball diamond with drummer Matt Kelly holding down the second base while two singers, Al Barr and Ken Casey, roamed around the field trying to stay apart. The band spread out on the baseball diamond with drummer. No, sorry, it's a continuation. It's just the Dropkick Murphys here sneaking into Fenway for a little concert. The band played a full length set from the excellent new Clash tribute, Mick Jones' Kit Nicked My Pudding, to a blazing Amazing Grace, to the inevitable Shipping Out to Boston. Towards the end, Casey asked, is New Jersey in the house? And there was Springsteen on the Diamond Vision screen, ready for his first
Wow.
plugged in full band performance since the pandemic began. It started with
Now hold on.
roast.
Pause. 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 So Dropkick Murphys. That's basically like Boston's Rush as to Canada.
No, well, basically, drop kind of like the punk, more like Dropkick Murphys. They're like the Boston's version of the Pogues, to put it that way. The Pogues being an Irish band, with a lots of fast-paced rhythms, kind of like Irish traditional, but speeded up more.
It's like punk thrash almost.
Punk thrash with a little bit of Irish folk mixed in a bit there, from what I understand. Another band of this nature would be Flog and Maui, whose lead singer, by
Why
the
do they
way,
have bagpipes? I thought that's a Scottish thing.
well, it's gonna be Irish as well. I'm not understanding of that, but either way, it's like either way, it's Irish with a little bit of bagpipes here and there, and like I was saying, it's the same version as Flog and Molly, which is led by Dave King, the former frontman of the band Fastway. It's kind of like Irish punk, basically.
Yeah, I'm not really into that.
Yeah, neither am I. I wasn't really much into the '90s stuff, like bands like those, whether it's them, Flog and Molly, or anything or that sorts, or any of these unknown bands. I'm sorry, but I wasn't really big on that. But that was what's going on right now. So shout out to the Dropkick Murphys for putting on a show there for everyone to see at their convenient at their homes. Now we also talked
Yeah.
about this a while ago, and we're both dead set against this. There was talk briefly about possibly bands doing the shows far apart from their locations, while everybody checks them out, like a drive-in theater where you just park your car, stare at the screen, with a little speaker broadcasting music or movie in the convenience of your car and stuff. The only had time you had to get out is to go to take a piss or to get
Yeah.
concessions. But I'm sorry, but we both talked about this and we disagree on this because to us, rock and roll should be meant to experience up front at face value and with a crowd of people next to you feeling the same vibe. This I understand we have a pandemic going on, but come on, this sitting in your car, trying to jam, trying to mosh in your back of your automobile while Iggy Pop and the Stooges are still playing those songs from 1971. It just doesn't make no sense to me. It just really doesn't because
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's just, like I said, rock and roll should be experienced at face value, right in your face, in your earlobes. Bottom line.
Well, in your earlobes, right in your face, Brown.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and come out with your list?
All right, we could do it. We got a lot of lists here. We got our list of top 20 guitar players. I have mine. Why are you have yours? And I'm going to start with mine here. My top 20 list will be consisted of the following people. First and foremost, Eddie Van Halen, because of the technique he used to do solos, his fast-paced shredding style that would inspire every guitar player years after to do the same. I mean, there was not a band in the 1980s soon afterwards that had a guitar player that could shred, whether it's Yngwie Malmsteen or George Lynch or anybody else. Back then shredding was the thing, and at one point Frank Zappa vowed one time to stop playing guitar because people were expecting him to play like Eddie Van Halen. He eventually would play the guitar again later on, but you can see, you understand where some of these other guitar players were coming from. They were like jealous, they were like upset, they were angry because you learned your chops, you're ready to go out there and do such, and all of a sudden this kid named Eddie comes in and just puts you back in your spot. But in terms, Eddie really inspired a lot of guitar players, to do the finger tapping, the fast-paced licking, and how to construct your own guitars.
Yes.
You know, he's a marvel at that.
Yeah.
I mean, God knows the design he came up with those guitars when the Van Halen first come out is still iconic to this day. The only person that could surpass him right now is Zach Wild with the kind of guitars he plays right now, which is one of them being a combination of the Flying V and the Gibson SG. Very
Right.
interesting to
Well,
look at there.
Simo, you own a couple guitars, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
I got a BC Rich and I got a Gibson.
Good to see you. We got to hear. Sometime we got to do a jam here tonight if you can. All right, the second one on my list is, of course, Randy Rhoads, who sadly was taken from
Yes.
us, in a plane wreck in Florida in 1992. He played with Ozzy Osbourne on his two first solo records, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. He also was the original guitarist for Quiet Riot, up till his departure from the group to join Ozzy. They did a bunch of import records, so one of them Japanese releases there. And before, it was after his death that Quiet Riot would recruit Carlos Cavazo to fill in that spot there, and they would eventually get signed to a major label, and boom, you know. Of course, give Randy his due. He was also into classical music as well. He often gave guitar lessons, and also took some
Right.
lessons as well because he was into playing classical music. I mean, the
So here's the
instrumental.
thing, Brown. So
Yeah,
Eddie, hold on. Eddie would be your number one
yeah. Because when
because
I.
even Dave Rhodes, it was kind of supposed to be a 20-1 deal, but
Uh
he
huh.
just threw out 20 random, which is fine. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Had to switch things
I
up,
was
but
told it was supposed to be in, rating order. You told me it just could be a list.
No. Well,
So I just
it
which
was
what do
just.
y'all prefer?
Well, it was just a
Rating
list.
order or
I
just
didn't number mine either, guys. So I just threw this list together here, and of course, number two, of course, was Randy Rhoads. Number three would be Robert Fripp from King Crimson, because he was a lot more avant-garde player than everybody else at that time. He came up with this interesting he came with a thing called a standard tuning, which is kind of awkward, but you got to have a special guitar for all the tuning, especially for the way the bottom string is tuned up to a open G. He was also the pioneer of a thing called Frippertronics, which is a bunch of guitar loops, you know, put together. Yeah, I guess he also constructed a pedal where you're able to, if you get a little bit of feedback, you're able to keep that feedback going there. He also has a guitar synthesizer where he's able to produce guitar soundscapes, which, by the way, if you ever checked out his personal YouTube channel called, he has a couple of things called Music for Quiet Moments, parts 1 through 3. Very interesting to listen to. He recorded albums with Brian Eno, Andy Summers of the Police. He did a couple of shows with Blondie back around 1980, and he also did some work with a group called the Future Sound of London, as well as the Orb on a couple of their albums. So, and you got to remember Robert Fripp. And by the way, he does this all by sitting down. By the way, he's a seated guitarist. You know, I remember seeing him back in 2001 with King Crimson, and I was like blown away by the techniques that he was using, the soundscapes, the guitar synthesizer. We got to give him a massive mention for that.
Yeah, big ups to him.
Yep. Number 4, we have next up would be David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, because even though he would shred on the guitar, but without actually shredding. He said in an interview back in 1986 that he tries to make his guitar sing because the correlation between both his left and right hands are absolutely terrible. So he tries to grab whatever product he can, whether it's a foot pedal or a device, to help make that guitar sing. But as we all know, he doesn't automatically. I mean, the solos he did for Comfortably Numb, the solos he did for other tracks like, let's say, Echoes, that piece that took up the side. Yes. That massive. You ought to check. By the way, Dave, you ought to check out the live
Even
version.
Division Bell.
Oh yes, absolutely. The solos he did on that, the solo he did on the end of the track "Sorrow" from Momentary Lapse of Reason, spellbinding to the T.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, the guitar, the riffs he does, he's basically he's able to bring you to tears well with one of his solos. I know the solo he did for the title cut for the Final Cut, that '83 record they did, the last one they did with Roger Waters, was kind of almost could bring tears to your eyes. So, of course, the next up, as we all know, Jimi Hendrix, the man who made Left Hand Playing cool, along with Paul McCartney and Tony Iommi. I mean, the man was, he really skilled himself to be one of the best. He's still regarded as one of the iconic guitar players of all time, And the next up there is Django Reinhardt, who was a jazz guitar player. He specialized in what it was called gypsy jazz, I guess it was called. And the reason I selected him is because he had an accident as a little kid, where he was unable to move or use his last two fingers of his left hand there, the nothing finger and the pinky finger. So he had to devise the way to do solos with just his index and his middle finger. And you look at those clips of him playing YouTube, you will be astounded as well. And plus, he was also an inspiration for this next guy, Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath, to pick up the guitar player again. Because, as we all know, Tony Iommi had this accident when he was working at, I guess, an industrial plant. It was his last day on the job, and he was going to head off to Germany to play with this one particular rock band. The blade came down right on the tips of his right hand, took off the two tips from his two middle fingers. Now, he tried to play guitar again, but he was found the tips were too tender, and basically somebody gave him a record of Django Reinhardt's work there, and inspired him to come up with these little fake tips that he wears to this very day on his right hand. And he would come up with, basically, Ozzy would say it best. He plays like he has 6 fingers on each hand. to put forth. The next one, Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple and Rainbow, because he was always he was another skilled guitar player. He always loved his Fender Stratocasters. He would break them, of course, on stage many times. You could look up all those incidents on YouTube there, particularly the California Jam from 1974.
Really?
Yes, it is astounding. He just one guitar after another, busting them all. He sets amplifier on flames there. Oh, you look at it, it's like a total shambles soon afterwards. Throwing things off the stage there, including the headpiece from his amplifier. Oh shit, man! But as a skilled, he is a great guitar player. He's able to transit from a rock and roll to some Renaissance music, which he normally does now. He did a few shows with Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, his new current lineup, which also features his wife, Candace Knight, on backup vocals. They have a project together called Blackmore's Night, which is basically, as I mentioned, Renaissance folk music. And next time you see him at a Renaissance festival, hope you'll be able to catch them live if they're performing there. The only problem is he wants nothing to do with Deep Purple, because there was a whole bunch of arguments because there was a whole bunch of arguments between him and singer Ian Gillan. In fact, it was those arguments that decided him, you know what, I'm done. I cannot handle this no more. The tension is too bad. We almost killed each other the last time. I'm done. And that's the bulk of it. Next, Zakk Wylde from Black Label Society and Ozzy Osbourne. And what can I say? The man is a shredder himself. This man was often looked at as the possibly replacement for Dimebag Darrell after his death in back in 2004. There was a talk that possibly Vinnie Paul, Phil Osamlo, bassist Rex Brown was going to recruit Zakk to take his Dimebag's place if there was a chance of a Pantera reunion tour. But sadly, that will not happen because, as we all know, the Abbott brothers are no longer with us, and Phil and Vinny never got things settled with one another, sadly. But as in terms of a guitar playing, Zakk Wylde knows how is the modern day. He is the modern day warrior when it comes to guitar shredding.
Yes.
James Williamson, he's next on the list. He did a guitar work for Iggy Pop and the Stooges on the album Raw Power. You listen to that album, see how the guitar playing sounds. It doesn't matter which version you got, and I speak of that because there was the original mix was done by David Bowie, and there was the remix by Iggy Pop himself back in '97. The guitar work on that, I was very fascinated with that sound of that guitar. So basically, it was a dirty, raunchy, monstrous playing on that album there. And the production that Bowie did originally on Raw Power was, it was, people say it wasn't too keen. People say it was very mixed up, but I enjoyed it. It was a loud record. I enjoyed it. So he definitely gets a nod on my list for sure. Reese Gabrels, who worked with David Bowie and David Bowie's band Tin Machine, because I enjoy him because he's basically the love child of Robert Fripp and Eddie Van Halen. He is what is called the king of antisocial guitar. He's often make a few noises on his guitar on some of Bowie's later releases. He's able to do a lot of good shredding on a few tracks there. Currently, he is one of the lead guitar players for The Cure. And I know deep down inside he definitely looks on with his years with David Bowie with great delight that he was able to work with such a unique artist. They did come up with some good stuff together, and I'm speaking of mainly the two Tin Machine albums they did together in the early 90s. David Black from the band Seduce, a local Detroit favorite there. Simo probably knows who I'm talking about. He is the guitar player for the band Seduce. They released only 2 studio albums, the self-titled one in '85 and Too Much Ain't Enough in 1988 on IRS label. He's a pretty badass guitar player there. You know, you could tell that he was influenced by Jimmy Page a lot of times because you see how he moves, how he struts his stuff on stage, pretty much the same way that Jimmy Page did back in the day. So,
Yes.
yes, definitely. And of course, next up, speak of the devil, Jimmy Page himself. His guitar techniques was very unique. It was still remains untouchable to this day. I tried to play the chords, the opening chords of Stairway to Heaven. I just couldn't nail it down. I don't know why. But then again, that's how skilled Jimmy Page is. After Zeppelin, he would later put together The Firm with Paul Rogers, a Bad Company. He would later do
Don't
some
forget Page and
soundtrack.
Plant.
Yep. And also Page and
Plant.
Coverdale. Stupid scam on my phone, motherfucker calling. Sorry about that. And let's not forget, he did the soundtrack to Death Wish 2 back in 1982. The Charles Bronson movie. I have that downloaded. It's pretty good stuff there. Worth checking out there. All right. The next sub is a guitar player named Greg Howell. Now, wasn't too really familiar about this guy, but I chose to put him on this list because he did a 40-minute guitar solo at the end of his set at the Ritz in Roseville, Michigan, all the way up. Usually the bands get done about 1:15 or 1:30 or somewhere around those minutes. After the band was said and done, Greg Howell just stayed on stage doing this massively long guitar solo right up to the end of 2 a.m. That's when the bar officially is closed. All the way up there. It was about a 50-minute, 30-minute guitar solo that was like, holy fuck. Does this guy ever stop? Damn. So, he definitely gets a nod for that alone. Dimebag Darrell,
Yes.
next up here. Arlington, Texas own. Take it from us in 2004 from an asshole who went into Flash Gordon's in Cleveland and shot him, blaming him for the breakup of Pantera, when not so. If that fault was mostly on Phil Osamos for his drug addiction there. What can I say? The man was able to keep the shredding technique alive throughout the 1990s, whereas other rock bands at that time would just abandon the guitar solos in general. Bands like Korn, Stain would just abandon all that shit, just concentrate on the chords. But Dimebag kept that shredding alive throughout that whole decade, you know? And
Yeah.
it still sucks to this day that he's no longer with us. All right? Got to add this person up here.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
What year did Pantera come out?
Well, Pantera came out, was started back in the 1980s. It was more like a regular glam rock scene that was going on at that time. The original frontman was Terry Glaze. They were playing the Dallas clubs a lot of times. Yeah. One time they did a gig out here in Houston with Hellstar. They were the opening acts. I remember a friend of mine on Facebook posted that flyer on his Facebook page. I was like, wow, that was way back when. Back in 1984 to be exact.
Oh, it says formed in 1981.
Yeah, exactly. That's how long they've been together, man. That's how long. You'd be very surprised to know how long bands have been together before they break out into the scene. They broke out back in 1990 with Cowboys from Hell. That entire album. The next one on my list, Fast Eddie Clarke from Motorhead and Fastway. I chose him here because he was able to take a few just the guitar chords and just make them last throughout the whole song as fast paced as I could, like this. Something like that. I don't know if he was able to hear that, but he did on tracks like
Yeah.
a Bomber, We Are the Road Crew. Now, when he left Motorhead, he would put together a band called the Fastway with Pete Way, who was the bass player from UFO at that time, with of course with Jerry Shirley, the drummer from Humble Pie, and singer Dave King, who, as we mentioned, is now the frontman for Flogga and Molly. And he was his solos kind of like was like he basically. Whoa, you okay, dude? Okay, all right. Basically, for his work with Fastway, he decided to do slower solos. He did a lot of good solo, but it was still pretty well-paced solos he did on those two records he did with Fastway. They did a couple others, few afterwards, I guess afterwards, but they were still together at prior to his death, I guess. You know, and it sucks because the Motorhead that we all know and love, which was Fast Eddie, Lemmy, and Filthy Animal Taylor, they're all gone. Sadly, they're all gone. Very sad. The same thing with the Ramones. All the original members are gone from us. Okay? Now this one here, his name is Vic Vergat. His last name is spelled Vergat. And the reason I put on this list because I remember seeing his videos for a couple of tracks for a record he put out an album called Down to the Bone, and he played this flying awesome looking flying V, and it was such the sound of it, the way he played was massively humongous. It was a big humongous sound, and for up to recently, I've been trying to find that record. I've been trying to find videos of this guy. And it was like finally I listened, found him on YouTube, of course, finding those old clips of him performing live. I was like, holy shit. I wanted to buy this guy's album, just play along with it because the sound was that humongous. The guitar sound that is. Now, the next up, Ron Ashton of the Stooges, who sadly, I guess, died in 2009. I had a chance of meeting him back in 1991 when he was playing with his female companion, a singer named Niagara. This was at the backstage of a place called Todd's, located by 7 Mile Road and Van Dyke Avenue in Detroit. It was basically a punk band, I was able to sneak in, say hi to him, have a little talk with the guy, and say how you doing and all that good stuff there, blah, blah, blah there. Pretty cool guy to hang with, I know.
Yeah.
He was, of course, along with the Iggy Pop, one of the co-founders with the proto-punk scene with his band, the Stooges, along with the MC5, Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, the Bob Seger System. It was all proto-punk. A lot of energy that came out of this group there. And this group would later influence the Sex Pistols, Sonic Youth, you name it. And sadly, he's gone. Like Fast Eddie and Dimebag and Randy Rhoads. The next two on the line up here. These are the final ones. K.K. Downing and Glenn Tipton. The guitar work they did together was outstanding to this very day. The harmonics they come up with during the solos, the beginning of songs, still reigns supreme to this very day. And I guess it fits to say that some of the harmonics would later be used by the guitar players from Iron Maiden later on, because Judas Priest had a hand in Iron Maiden's influence when they first formed back in '77, I guess. Well, of course, we cannot forget the original guitar harmonies from Thin Lizzy years before. So there you go. There's my top 20 list, folks. You like it?
Well, I got to say, you have some that I have.
Uh-huh.
So,
All right. All right. Yeah. So,
Dave Rose, what is your opinion of the list?
It's a good.
I like it.
Can you please be quiet? He's asking me. I think it's a good complete list, and yeah, definitely. Earl knows his stuff, so obviously each of them has value and
Yeah, value.
credence to to him picking it. So
So, how about we do this? Let's do a
there was
quick
some that
commercial
were.
break. God damn it.
what?
Sorry, I was just going to say that there was some that I had on my list, but
Yeah, me too.
some I.
So
All right.
let's do a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back with my list. Knock that out because,
Okay.
and then we'll do Dave Rose list, and then SEMO. That would be appropriate because
All
he threw
right.
out a list too. So
Nice.
we'll do a quick, nice little commercial break here, ladies and gentlemen. And go get your chicken, go get your fix, and SEMO. We're gonna do a commercial break, and
go get your
we're
booze.
gonna have y'all do y'all's list. I'll knock mine out.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you
Yep.
think of Earl's list? Did you hear that, SEMO?
Simo, you there, dude?
I just got back from the store. I missed it.
Aw, man.
Man, dude.
No, I sent you a message saying I had to go to the store.
Oh, I wasn't paying it. I think, let me check here. I wasn't really paying attention because, I'm looking for it right now. I was doing the list here, so.
All right, we're gonna do a quick commercial break. We'll be right
Okay.
back.
All right. I see it now. We'll be back.
We had enough. Couldn't take it anymore. He found a place in his mind. Slammed the door. No matter how they tried, they couldn't understand. They washed and dressed him, fed him, but hey, yeah, left the world behind, and I am safe here in my mind, free to speak my own kind, my life, outside of you. Withdrawn, he sit down. He's staring into space. No sign of life. It would flicker on his face. Till one day he smiled. It seemed with pride. Sing it with me, Earl. And the wind kissed him. Goodbye. And then he died. Yeah! Left the world behind. I am safe here. Safe here. In my mind. In my mind. Free to speak. My own time. This is my life. This is my life. How y'all doing, guys?
We here. Yep.
So that is my personal song of the week.
Mm-hmm.
It is Beyond the Realms of Death, featured on the Stained Class album. What is that, 1978?
Yes, it is. That's when that album
78.
came out. Yes.
It's Beyond the Realms of Death, YouTube it, listen to it. It's like a 7-minute song. It's
Mhm.
probably top 2 best Judas Priest songs
Yeah.
ever. So deep track.
Very deep track there when you consider the subject that they're talking about here, of the topic of the song. I advise you to check Wikipedia to look up the song and see what it's about there.
So we do have my list here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, go ahead and knock that out.
All
It's a
right.
revised list. It's kind of like a revised list.
All right.
We're gonna do obviously Eddie Van Halen.
Oh yeah.
That's probably my number one. You know. We'll throw in someone in there that you didn't have on your list, which is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Brown, which is Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Yeah.
who we talked about last week.
Yeah, that's true.
And I did send a song to Dave Rose last week, Crossroads. And Dave Rose loved that song. I mean, obviously he heard it before, probably, I think. Dave Rose, remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Great song, right? So Stevie Ray Vaughan, Texas is Own. And another, I mean, there's some on here that I can't believe you didn't have on the list. That is definitely top 5 greatest. Come on, Eric Clapton, bro. You didn't have him on there?
Wow.
Give a little background on him. Derek of the Dominoes. He did
We all
was
know.
he with the Firm?
No,
no?
he was that was
No, not
Jimmy
the Firm.
Page. No, Cream. He was all with Cream.
No, I know he was with Cream, but he was with the group, bro. Another super group, right?
Blind Faith.
I'm trying to think here.
You remember you talked about the album, the album cover for that release had to be censored there.
All right, so obviously we put in Tony Iommi. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
One that you missed. I don't know. Would y'all consider him underrated? George Lynch from Dawkins.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I remember he was considered Dawkins' secret weapon back in the day. And
there's definitely some beef there between
him and Don Dawkins there.
Right.
Yeah. So which smart, sadly
Keith Barber, can you mute your program over there, please? You have some background stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say myself. Yeah.
Keith Barber, please.
Yeah.
Just mute. If you need to say anything, just unmute and respond. Michael Shankner.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Brown.
Oh yeah.
Can you throw a little background on him?
Oh yeah,
us,
we
please?
know who this guy is. We spoke about him. I spoke about his the guitar he played. It's one side dark, one side white.
It's black and white.
Black and white.
B, basically.
Yes, Blind B. That's one of the most iconic guitars.
Dean.
What I would give. Well, I'm talking about the original. He used to endorse Gibson guitars back in the day, but now he switched over to Dean. But what I wouldn't give just to have a replica or the original guitar within my possession.
My sister's dad, which is basically my ex-stepdad, he has probably like 8 or 9 guitars on the wall, but he doesn't play like major, but he's learning, but he's a collector.
Oh wow, nice.
He has that guitar. He got that guitar at a pawn shop. Like that was like one of the first.
Wow.
I mean, he has like a Gibson Les Paul. Obviously, he has the.
Tell him to send it to me.
I mean, he has it, bro. He has a real Stratocaster Fender. He has Randy Rhoads Jackson.
Yeah, the Carbo Jackson there.
Yeah. What else? An SG. It's the Epiphone SG, but still. I think he has. Let me think. There's another one he had. Oh, he got like that wood grain Flying V Epiphone.
Yes.
Like 38 special.
Yes, I remember
style.
that. Yeah.
He just got that. I mean, Epiphone's still on the lower tier with Gibson, but they still Slash used to like endorse them. Actually, I mean they're made by Gibson, obviously, but it's like the lower tier of them.
Yes.
So next up on the list. Well, a little bit background on Michael Shankner that he's Scorpions.
He started out with his brother Rudolph in the Scorpions. He played on the couple of their first two albums. He would later hook up with a band called UFO when they saw his guitar playing. They asked him to join their group, which he did. They made albums like Lights Out, Force It, Strangers in the Night. He would later leave UFO because to get himself together. I guess he wanted to get off the drugs and alcohol. He would later put together his group, the Michael Schenker Group, throughout the whole 1980s there. They released albums like Assault Attack, Rock Will Never Die, and Built to Destroy. One of my favorites from that record would be Rock My Nights Away. I remember a tune called Captain Nemo, which I saw play on the original MTV, which was pretty damn
Captain
good.
Semo.
I mean,
Is that what you said?
Captain Nemo.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, next up on the list. Well, you got this one. I got this one from you because you shared your list originally before
Yes.
privately, Brown. But
Yes.
KK down in Glen Tipton, one of
Yep.
the greatest guitar duos.
Yep.
They got that on the list.
Korea.
Hendrix, of course.
Oh yeah.
I
obviously.
threw in these two, which is interesting. Maybe to some they might be weak. Well, one of them, I don't know. Ace Frehley, Kirk Hammett.
Uh-huh.
Thoughts, opinions?
You mean Kurt Cobain?
Kurt Hammett.
Kirk Hammett. Oh, because it sounded like Kirk Cameron, who was an actor at first.
No,
But
Metallica, come on.
Okay, well, Kirk Hammett does get a nod for today's metal players. He is highly influential for his work on those earlier records, as well as the current soft stuff they're doing now. So definitely he definitely gets a nod
of course,
there.
Ace Frehley. You got to give Ace Frehley the nod, though.
Yeah, we do because
And
because a lot of people, you talk to any rock band out there from the Detroit area that I knew back in the day, whether it's Seduce or bands like a Martial Law or Pepperland, which I told you about, featured John Lowry, who later now became John 5. He cites Ace Frehley as a big influence there. And you got to remember, Ace Frehley, off of Wood Matt, he was a great guitar player. You got to give him his nod. You got to give him his due respect.
Since you mentioned him, I did have John 5 on my list.
Yeah, nice.
Formerly on Play with Marilyn Manson group over there.
Yeah, Rob Zombie, his own projects there. And like I said, he played in a band called Pepperland, which played the Detroit area at various clubs, whether it's the Ritz, Roseville, New York, and Warren, and also Harpo's Concert Theater in Detroit. So he would later move to California, as I previously mentioned, and would later hook up with some bands, and then hook up with Rob Halford to do that project too back in '98.
Two.
Yeah, two.
The band two.
The band two, yes.
Yes. So next up on the list, Billy Gibbons, ZZ Top.
Yep.
Very influential. Here's one. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about this. This was maybe, or but I threw it in there. Jerry Garcia.
Oh yeah.
The Grateful Dead.
Yeah, and by the way,
what would you?
Well, he was a good guitar player as well. Considering the fact that he lost half of his middle finger on his right hand from a sort of a wood chopping accident as a little kid, and he also cites Django Reinhardt as an influence to keep on playing just as well as Toy Iommi does.
They have They have a big following still.
Yeah, they still do it. Now it's now called Dead.
Bob Weir.
Bob Weir. So
Yeah,
he has a thing with a couple old members. They have a thing called Dead and Company. They still do shows occasionally here and there. They still have that massive following. I guess people don't want the Grateful Dead to die, but however, you can't really call the Grateful Dead without Captain Trips himself.
Were you a Deadhead or no?
No, never was, sadly.
Really?
I did like a couple of their songs there.
What about Rose, Dave Rose? Were you ever a big Deadhead guy, Grateful Dead?
No, I wasn't.
Ah,
Really? I mean, it's like it's definitely hippy dippy. It's
yeah,
it's
Yeah,
a Jesse thing,
psychedelic
but yeah,
type hippie
yeah.
yeah.
concert
It would be
rock.
fun to go to a show like back in the day. It's crazy.
I remember I was very, very surprised when that song "Touch of Grey" became such a massive hit back in '87. It's like, holy cow, this is a trip there. Now all these other kids up, but then again, the problem with that is that you're going to gain a lot of new fans, but they're going to know the current songs. So when they come and see a Grateful Dead show and they don't hear that particular song, they're going to get upset. But we'll
Right.
definitely save that for another program there. But
What year was the death of Jerry Garcia? What year was that?
1995.
95.
I know
Oh,
the
that
whole
was
city
a
is.
overdose, right?
No, well, what it was, he was in, I guess he was in a rehab center trying to kick the shit off for once and for all, and I don't know if his heart gave out or if something happened there, but apparently they
What
said
was
he.
he? What was he a user? Like heroin IV
Well,
user, or was he?
I guess, for what I understand, he was using heroin, for what I understand, for a while, and I guess he tried to get off the drugs once and for all because there was a big reason why he was referred to as Captain Trips, which was his
No, that would
nickname.
be. That's considered definitely a jam band. You could
Yeah,
definitely.
they were
They're
one of
like
the
probably like the pioneers of
the
jam bands,
jam
right?
bands, which later would inspire Spin Doctors, Blues Traveler, all those other groups, Fish, Big
Fish.
Head,
Yeah.
all those '90s bands that existed during that period of time.
All right, next up on the list. So, tip of the cap to Jerry Garcia.
All right.
This person y'all probably never heard of. It's not a rock guitar. Well, yeah, it's rock. Let me explain. Rock slash reggae.
Hmm.
Obviously, we know Bob Marley, the
Oh yeah.
Wailers.
Oh yeah.
Back originally, Bunny Wailer and Peter Tosh played
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah.
Peter Tosh played the guitar. Now he died, right? He
Yes,
died, but
he died of cancer in 1991, and there was a lot of investigating into his death that possibly the Jamaican government had something to do
who?
with him. Yeah.
Who?
They don't know. There was a lot.
Who?
We don't know because
Who
it's
died?
Bob Marley.
No, that's 81.
Yeah, that's 81. Yeah,
You said 91.
my bad.
No, it's okay. Look, you got to have some correction on the
I
show, on the
know.
program. Can't be
No.
putting out false.
I'm so
Now,
after a while it gets when it starts you get this is one of my problems I got to take care of soon, folks. My bad for that.
well, you're learning. We're learning.
Yeah.
The guy I'm trying to name here, his name is Al Anderson. Seen him live. He did a lot of live stuff, a lot of the Marley stuff live that you can find on online, YouTube, CDs, the music apps. There's a lot of Bob Marley and the Wailers live albums, and he's featured on a lot. I seen him live because now they have a group called the Original Wailers, um, Junior Marvin and Al Anderson and a few others. He does play guitar. And now I was right in front of Small Club. I was right in front of him, right there, just right in front. I got a pick in the music song list sheet. I got that, but I was that close. But when you're up there, it's reggae music. But when he does that guitar, a lot. He plays. There's some distortion. Some rock
Yes. Yes.
in there. It was great. This older black guy with dread. Jamming on this fucking. I think he was playing using like an Ibanez
Nice.
guitar.
Nice.
Um, and he played on a lot of the Marley live stuff, so it was really cool. He listened to a lot of the licks on the Marley live
Yes.
albums. You'll know what I'm talking about. Definitely that rock influence. So big ups to Al Anderson.
All right.
Let's see, Joe Wash.
Oh
Joe
yeah.
Wash.
Yeah.
Cannot forget. He's definitely now if we're listening number wise, definitely in the top 10.
All right.
Definitely in the top 10 of all time. Joe Wash, James Gang, Eagles,
Yeah. His
solo stuff.
solo career. Life's been good. Space Age Whiz Kids, Rocky
Rocky
Mountain
Mountain
Way.
Way. And I
definitely
saw the Eagles live recently, and once concerts become a regular thing, because me and Elwar's yearly thing was Rockets games and Jimmy Buffett concert. But I think we're switching it up. We're gonna do Eagles every time because it's that good. You know, he sounded great. He sung, played guitar, obviously. 40 songs, like a 4-hour set. I mean,
Wow.
probably the greatest concert I've ever been to. I mean, I've seen Kiss, I've seen other shit too, which is good too, but just sound wise, I mean, it sounded just like you hear it on the record. No, I mean, the same key, singing the same, just wow. Expensive, but I suggest on live concerts you search online the day of or the day before, Craigslist and stuff like that, and we basically got these tickets half off. They're like 400 a piece. We paid like half that. So big ups to Joe Walsh. Now this one coming up, I stole from someone on this call because I forgot about him. Santana, Mr. Carlos Santana,
Ah,
invigorated his career. I mean, like it was, back, Woodstock days, stuff like that. But what would you say, like in the 90s or 2000s, he kind of
he revamped himself.
revigorate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
revamped
got all
himself.
these celebrity people like Everlast. He got
Rob
Steve,
Thomas,
Rob
Matchbox
Thomas.
20.
Yeah.
That
He
was a
also,
big fucking bro. That song was a huge hit in the 2000s, bro.
yeah, and it came
Send
out
me a wing by myself and I'll forget about it.
at the
Bro.
appropriate time because Jennifer Lopez, well, people found out that she had a stunning singing voice. She
Smooth,
had a record, and Ricky Martin just as
I like
well.
Santana.
smooth.
Like you're like
Listen to that lick. Smooth is a song that was a huge hit, bro,
Yep,
on the radio.
and still played to this
2000,
day. Yeah, still played
huge hit.
on contemporary radio stations to this very day, folks.
Now, of
Yeah.
course, Santana was a Latin guitarist.
Yep.
Probably the top.
Yes.
There's not a lot of Latin or African American guitarists, so definitely the top. I mean, there's a lot of Hispanic. Look at Metallica bass player
Kirk.
and Kirk
Yeah.
Hammett. They're both,
Yes. They're part
Latin descent.
Hispanic. Yes.
So
Latin as well.
a lot of. I would say, white
Los
people
Lobos.
predominantly, but
Los Lobos.
Los Lobos.
They
Yeah.
definitely cite him. And let's not forget one of the guys who had a big hand in influencing Latins picking up guitars, Richie Valens.
It's just like your motion. All right, let me look. Okay, so boom. Thoughts on Santana?
Well, definitely
Simo?
Santana. Oh, okay. I think Simo's muted right now. Simo, get on the call,
Oh.
dude. We need to get you cats on here. There you are.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
So, what's your opinions on my list so far? We have a few more left, about 5 more left, but what's or 4 more left? What's your opinion on it? I mean, it's a little deep here and there, but you still got to give your tip of the hat to your mainstream guitars as well. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
Take away.
it's pretty diverse so far.
Very diverse.
I
I
had to throw a
agree.
reggae one in there. I had to throw that in there. Next up, we'll throw in what? And this was a last minute throw in because I did take out a few. I had Slash in there, but I took him out. I'm just not a GNR guy.
Hmm.
I'm just not a Guns N' Roses guy
And
personally.
plus, they're always going to go for a Slash as well when it comes to guitar playing as well.
I mean,
Especially,
honestly, bro, like they only came out with a few albums, right? But their main popularity was really based on one album.
yeah,
Essentially, don't they only come out with like 3 albums, bro? Seriously.
Yeah, basically, actually 4
Studio albums.
Yeah, 4 studio albums: Appetite, Use the Illusion, both 1 and 2, and the Spaghetti Incident, the covers record.
What about
So they're not
Lies?
really.
Lies.
Pardon?
Well, what they did, yeah, that's true. They did put out. Well, that record was basically half live and half studio there.
Yeah, but that one had Patience. You got to include that one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
that probably.
GNR's super overrated, bro. Super, like really overrated. Like fuck that, bro. Like I don't really like. Yeah, you can pay. They really ruined my favorite part of music, like the '80s. Rock. They kind of ruined that whole. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So, like every other band out there had this sort of dress that looks sleazy and talks sleazy and thinks sleazy, acts sleazy.
they have some pizzazz, bro. Like, come on, like it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
every other band was trying to follow their footsteps.
fuck them.
Well, I
But
know.
this one's the last minute I threw in. What's the guitarist, the Billy Idol guitarist? What's his name?
Steve Stevens.
Honorable.
Steve
Yeah, it's an
Stevens.
honorable mission for Steve Stevens. Great guitarist, right?
Yeah,
Great musician.
he was. He did a lot of good lead licks with Billy Idol there. He put out a solo record of his own called simply Atomic Playboys, and
Huge in the '80s.
yeah, the '80s. And by the way, he's now involved. Get this, he's in a band now called Dead Land Ritual, which features Geezer Butler, Matt Sorum, the drummer
Really?
from GNR, and the Cult there. And I don't know the singer's name, but I guess it's a new guy they just found. But Deadland Ritual, I guess, has been formed. I guess they'll be doing some shows pretty soon when this whole pandemic shit goes down.
Well, I seen a live concert on TV probably a couple years ago. Billy Idol, and he was there too, and they
Yeah,
sounded great. I
yeah.
mean, they sounded.
And props to Steve Stevens. He made use of some of his effects as well. He used a lot of electro harmonics effects pedals on stuff
Yeah.
like they did with the song Rebel Yell.
Let's go ahead and confirm it right now. Next week's episode, let's do top 20 frontmen / singers.
Yeah, there you go.
We need to go ahead and lock that down.
Definitely gotta lock that down. Definitely, I'm already on that as well.
So everyone on this call, if you want to go ahead and top 20 frontman, you want to do that or like a
I'm
top
good.
15?
We could do
Come
top.
on, Rose.
How about top 10?
Like your personal favorite.
Simo, Dave, Keith.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I said no.
Do a cool,
No, what?
you want to do a top
My
10
favorite
for us?
guitarist is Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits.
You asked for a
Wow. That's
Nah,
a deep comment.
favor.
yeah, that's good.
You
Yeah,
got to give it to him. That's a
Yeah.
deep comment, bro. That's a good one. Yeah.
He
Come on.
does get a mention. I will say, he does get a good mention there.
Has YR done his list yet, or
I don't know.
I got a few left. Joe Satriani.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, come on. Instrumental guitarist. Surfing with the Alien. You know what I'm saying?
Dreamy number 9. And his work with the G3 tours with one of his guys he mentored, Steve Vai.
I think that's my list.
Hey, wow, that's good.
I mean, you can throw in, I had like Dimebag originally. I had Slash originally.
Yeah.
Tom Morello. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You got to throw in the general ones in there. But
All right.
yeah, that's my list. I mean, what does everyone think?
I think
You had to throw in there again.
I think it's pretty good there. It's able to throw in a couple of people that we haven't even heard of yet. Like this Al Anderson individual. So that's very interesting that you did that. So definitely shout out to you, YR, for an interesting list.
Well, shout out to you for fucking your list.
All right,
'Cause
thank you.
See, we traded some were the same.
Yeah.
Some I was surprised weren't on your list.
Yeah.
Of course, I knew there were going to be artists, deep artists, that you had explained that people aren't familiar with, but it's a learning program here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
My list. Who wants to go next? Simo, Dave Rose.
Keith.
I'll go next.
All right, definitely.
Dave Rose, you want to read yours out? Because I think you need to explain some, just like Brown, because that was you had a deep list as well.
Yes.
Of course, there's some that are the same, but that just shows how we are familiar with the roots of rock.
And again, you
So
guys
Dave-
asked for a 20 list of 20, and that's difficult to do. Like I told you guys previously, that you have to narrow down a lot. So there's a lot that some might assume to be on this list, and they're not on here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in no particular order, Mike Oldfield,
Yep.
Hideto Matsumoto. He belonged to that
X.
Japanese power metal band.
Yeah,
X
you mentioned. Yeah, I got to check that group out. Definitely.
Incredible stuff. Jeff Healey of the Jeff Healey Band.
Oh yeah.
He was a blues player
Oh, okay.
that was Canadian.
Yes.
Died, and
That's
he
cool.
was-
You threw in some Canadian.
he was
stuff.
blind too.
Yes, and he played guitar like he played a keyboard. That was
Wait,
that's
really? He was blind, like Ray
Yes.
Charles
Yeah,
and all that.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was.
Yes.
I
Wow.
think he lost his eyesight when he was young, but yeah, he was really talented.
Yeah. Played like I said, he played the way he played the guitar, he played it like a keyboard. That is probably one of the most massively interesting things about his playing style there.
True. But I just like that he is, again, he's not that known, but he's known through certain circles, and he really was extremely talented. So, and he did a lot for Canada as well. So that's my bias. But then after that is Randy Rhoads.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Even
We all
why
had
I'm
him on
saying
the
like,
list.
damn, that's a good pick. And I mean, obviously the stuff he did with Ozzy was just great. And it is
Still-
too bad that.
Still praised to this day by rock enthusiasts.
Yep. And imagine what he could have accomplished if he lived.
I know.
Next one on the list, Steve Vai.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, we got to give him mention. He played for Frank Zappa. He did time with a band called Alcatraz for a while.
Yep.
He also played with I guess he had a small part in the movie Crossroads as the devil himself there towards the end of that movie.
That I
And
did.
his guitar is a famous guitar, Brown, with
Oh,
the
yeah.
handle.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
probably
like,
what
it's like you could put your hand through.
and carry it
Explain the
without
guitar,
putting.
please.
You could carry that guitar without putting it in a case there.
There's a handle
That's-
basically sawed in, built into the guitar, and that's a signature. Like if you see that, it's made by Ibanez. Ibanez is
Yeah,
the-
that's
yeah.
him and Joe Satriani. They're both Ibanez enthusiasts there. So
Very cool.
definitely. And plus his little
which,
guitar
that's what I
works.
have. I have an Ibanez.
Oh yeah.
Guys,
Oh,
personally.
God.
Go ahead, Brown.
And plus, you got to give him his nod because he's influential
Yes.
and influencing other guitar players out there just as well.
Yep,
Yes.
exactly. He had
Yep.
a lot of influence. And that leads to my next pick, who, again, might not have been like the most talented guy out there, but I picked him specifically because, he's skilled, or was skilled, but because he was also very influential and very versatile with his abilities, but it was Prince.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there you
yes.
go. You got to give
He
him
had
the
a famous
credit.
guitar too.
Exactly. And
Yeah, the
again,
cloud
a lot
guitar.
of these people. Yes.
He played that
yes.
on his records. He was the lead on his. He personally he played
Yes.
guitar for.
He was a
the
multi.
leads.
He was. A
Oh, he
multi-
played a lot of different instruments.
27.
Oh, it's
26,
27 different.
26, 27. I'm not too sure, but it was around that range. He did practically did all the work on his albums by himself mostly.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That a lot of the stuff he did everything. So,
Yeah.
and he lived in Toronto for quite some time, apparently.
Oh wow.
So he has a little connection to Canada too.
Nice there.
Now the next one, Brian May of Queen.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Who we were discussing earlier is recovering from that heart attack he had.
He has like the same thing Simo has or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Simo, same condition.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure,
He's-
but
Chris,
I think Wires.
Chris,
Chris, Simo,
What?
dude.
you have the
Maybe-
same condition as Brian May, right? Queen. Not AIDS.
Yeah,
but-
big dick syndrome.
Oh, pff.
Yeah, I'm just fucking around. Come on.
Dude, come on.
Demo, get ready, bro. You're gonna have your list after the Keith's Corner segment. He's gonna share his band list after Rose.
Mhm.
Rose, go. And now, what? How
Yeah.
many have you put out now? 10.
No, that's maybe 6,
All right, cool.
7.
Uh,
I'm trying to
this
keep
is-
it. I'm
it's
trying to keep
7.
it quick, dude. Okay, 7.
Yeah.
So the next one, BB King,
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and
the
just
king of
the
the
influence
blues.
he had. Exactly, the influence he had on blues is just far-reaching. So a lot of these people won't. I don't need to go into too much detail because you guys know, and
Right.
B, the audience knows. But okay, so David Gilmour, we already talked about of Pink Floyd.
Yep.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I threw that in first. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you copy me?
No. I remember I gave you my list first. I don't think you. Actually, you
Yes, I
told me you
remember
want me
he
to send
did,
you my
yeah.
list,
He
and
did.
I was like, no, I
You put
want to be
SRV on your
surprised.
list originally? For
Yeah,
real?
dude, I sent it to you first, and you asked me if you wanted to share your list with me. I said no, I wanted to be surprised.
Yeah,
no,
he
send a
assured-
list. Send a list to this chat right now, please. So we need to confirm this because I
Okay.
think I'm the first with SRV.
No, I
No,
think I-
you mentioned it first on the show, dude, but as in like I'm the one who sent you my list like days ago.
I can't
So I didn't
recall
know-
that though, Dave.
I didn't know
I
what
can't
was on
recall
your
that.
list. Dude,
I
I'm
don't recall
looking
that
at
being
I'm
on
looking
your
at a
list.
message that I sent on Wednesday to Dr. Earl that I'm going through right now, which lists that there. So
Okay.
All right,
now
all
the
right,
next
all right.
the next one, the paper trail proves it true. The next one is Chuck Berry. You know, I don't have to say anything about the guy. Next, Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember if you guys had him on your lists.
I had him on mine.
Whoa, that was like my number one. Yeah, that's a staple. That should be everyone's number one, like in all time. To be honest,
Wow. Big word.
honestly.
Okay, next one, Pete Townsend of The Who.
Uh,
And I know that you were questioning that when I sent you the list originally, YR. You said, oh, I could have put this person or that person and stuff. But again, a lot
not
of
even
it
too wide though.
He was
Like, I'm
he,
not a Who
because
guy,
he
but-
was a
due to the
power.
influence.
He was a power. He strummed the guitar, but
Keith
he did
Moon's
it
the
with
big
power.
influencer of the band. I mean,
But it was
right?
also Townsend who wrote the songs. He also was Townsend who came up, who did this massive power strumming with the
Sorry,
guitar.
dude. I can't
Now,
agree to that to no extent. No extent can I agree to that.
Okay, that's
Who,
great, but-
Aerosmith, I'm not fond of, bro.
Do you want me to finish my
Overrated.
list?
Go ahead, man. But I'm trying to. I mean, this is argument of point here. I mean, this is thought provoking.
Okay.
It's right. I mean, just a quick little sidebar, here and there, because honestly, Keith Moon has to be the main influence from the Who.
Well, this is my list.
Well,
I mean, come on, guys.
Now, next one. on
Why
the-
though? Why? Give me a reason.
I
why.
did. I already said it. Why are you talking over me and not listening? I already said because of the influence that he had, and Dr. Earl is
Well,
also
why? What influence?
let me put.
also
let me,
the versatility. Look at how their style changed throughout their history.
Yeah, but every band kind of does that. They have to go with the times, especially
They
like
also
Judas Priest.
they also go and get new guitarists when the old one doesn't work with the sound that they need.
Yeah, I wouldn't have him on my list, but I guess you had to
but
squeeze it in there.
then hold on. Pete Townsend does play a major role in a lot of rock bands today because even though he was
Really?
a strummer, yeah, because a lot of bands cite the Who as their big influence because. Well, first, basically, they're regarded as one of the first punk bands. Besides from
Yeah.
smashing their instruments, they had this real punk attitude. You remember back in when they played the first Woodstock in '69, Abby Hoffman, a hippie activist, tried to get on stage and give a speech, but Townsend whacked him on the head with his guitar.
Now, quick sidebar on that: when all these bands used to destroy their instruments, you think they were sponsored by these companies, Gibson, Fender, and they just gave them these instruments, or they were so rich they could destroy it?
Either that, or he had to repair the shit out of these instruments to get them playing again. I know God knows how many times Keith Moon went through how many drums from whichever drum company he endorsed. Because they always got
All right.
trash in the end.
Dave Rose, continue the list, please. Let's go.
So 7 more to go.
Gotcha.
It's a thumbs down for me, though. But
Great. Keep interrupting. Make it longer. Make it longer.
should have sidebars here and there. Come on.
Alex Lifeson of Rush.
Mhm.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Brown, was that he on your list?
No, he wasn't. But he does.
Ah,
There's so many guitar players. I only had to. We had to keep it down to about
Jesus.
20. I would have came up with a top 30, a top 40, but since it was
Yeah,
top 20,
we could have easily, each of us could have done a top 100 and still not been satisfied that we had picked all the ones that we wanted. I
Yeah.
mean, there really
Yeah.
are so many, and for different reasons too: skill, personality, influence, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so obviously Alex Lifeson.
yeah,
Now, Buddy Guy.
the blues player, yes,
Yep, I
You
got a fair
mentioned
bit of
him.
blues players on here, and again,
Yeah.
influence. That's another reason that I made this list, because of the way that they've influenced music and other artists and so forth, and
Polka dot
how certain
style.
styles lead to other styles and add to a new genre that might be created, or so Buddy Guy, Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin.
correct, yep. Like I
Influence
said, for the
why,
technique that we talked about there, his
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that to an extent.
his jaw dropping technique and playing there was had a big influence on the heavy metal players in the near future.
Look, MYR, I'm not saying these guys are like literal, perfect guitar players, okay?
Yeah,
I'm just more so going, because some of them aren't the best guitar players. There's people that I didn't include on my list. I believe Iommi I didn't include on my list, and I would believe that he's more talented than some of the
Yeah.
people on this list. But I'm again, like when we talked about this earlier, it was about the influence and about the different styles or aspects that they bring to music and so forth. So, Jimmy Page, Carlos Santana, we talked about, and you were excited when I showed that to you, because you
Yeah.
like that point as well. Very talented guy. He's there at Woodstock. He has some really good music, and like Dr. Earl said, he did introduce a very pronounced Latin influence in
Chicano.
America. So
The Chicano movement. The California movement. Like a double barrel shotgun.
Now the next one, Keith Rabarber already said, but Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits.
yeah,
Now he is just straight out incredible. Okay, he is like not only extremely talented, but his ability to write as well, and the influence, and there's many reasons why I like Knopfler, but this is one of those points where it's not just influence, but that skill, that amazing ability on the guitar.
the finger picking he does instead of using an actual pick is just as well.
Yeah,
Him
Wow.
and Lindsey
Yeah.
Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac are skilled at that. They're the two top finger pickers in the guitar world.
So 2 more to go. Richie Blackmore of Deep Purple,
Ah, yes.
Ooh.
and I don't think you had him on your list there, Earl.
I did, yes.
Oh, you
He
did?
He did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And I should be paying more attention. Sorry. And the last person on my list, Peter Frampton.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
People talk about the songs like "Oh Baby I Love Your Way" or "Do You Feel Like We Do," but you also got to remember he was a very skilled guitar player
Kenny,
himself.
I love your way.
Say that again.
Oh, Kenny, I love your way. Every day.
And let's
I
not
want to
for-
sing with you night and day. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
and let's also not forget back in 87, David Bowie listed Frampton as his lead guitarist in his band for the Glass Spider tour that summer of that year.
Yes.
So he is a good
So
guitar
fucking
player.
Dave
yes.
Rose, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of blues on there. Buddy Guy. He use a I think it was a black Stratocaster with polka dots.
Yes, and that's
Which
what
was his
that's what
signature.
Man,
that's
your
his-
memories in these sorts of details are quite
I mean,
good.
look it up. Buddy Guy. He used a black Strat. I believe it was Stratocaster, but it was like
with
that
a
same
white
but
style,
neck,
I
white
don't remember
solid
that.
neck. Yeah.
like white
Oh, I
polka
can't
dots.
remember that, but
Someone,
Again, that's why you guys
look that
do
up,
this-
Brown, and put that picture in the chat here.
With Buddy Guy's guitar, gotcha. I'll look for it right
Yeah.
now, dude.
That'll be that's another episode, bro. Famous fucking guitars. Famous.
Yeah,
Famous B.
signature-
Famous B.
There's 10. And see, you're banned from the music show. What are you doing here?
What are you talking about? I'm not talking about drama. This is
Didn't
a
you
no
add him
drama
in
zone.
here?
What's a famous guitarist you're a kind to? You a big Santana guy? Chicano?
I'm
Oh,
a
that
big
whole
Enrique
Chicano mind
Iglesias
frame.
guy. Big Enrique Iglesias guy. You know what I mean?
Who? Why do you have to come on here and be an asshole, bro? We're having
What do you,
this is a
dude? You
fucking
just asked
like
me,
serious show, bro. Like this is not no
dude. Like what?
post
Yo,
college
like,
rebel bullshit.
what the fuck,
I'm
dude?
tired
Hey,
of
go
your
fuck you,
college.
Earl. Hey, Earl.
I'm-
Earl,
That's
go
my
fuck
name.
yourself, you
I'm-
piece of
I'm
shit.
tired of your
Excuse
post college
me?
rebel
Earl.
bullshit, SC Steve.
You fucking flip flopping piece of shit.
Excuse me?
Dude, you're done, dude.
Excuse
Someone
me?
get mad at
It's
me.
like that. I'm
Excuse-
Someone
kidding,
get mad
Earl.
at me.
Excuse me.
Earl,
Nah,
I love
you're
you. I'm
done,
leaving.
dude.
You're
I'm
the.
leaving. I'm leaving.
Alright.
You're done, dude. Bye. You're done.
Love you, Earl. Take care.
Yeah,
You're done, Nick. You're done. He's done, man. See what I mean?
I know.
Get
What
him
the
out.
fuck?
I'm gonna get him out. So we're gonna do a commercial break. We have a small Keys Corner segment. He's
Mhm.
gonna share his top 10 bands, and then we're gonna have Simo's list after that to close the show, and then any other things.
I just wrote a top 25.
Huh?
Top
I just
20.
wrote a top 25.
All right. Well, we're gonna have a top 25 in the Keys Corner segment after this commercial.
Bro, we'll be
And,
here all night for that.
No, we're not, bro. No, we're not. Keys, just do it fast because we know, like, you don't have to explain bands. We know bands, so like, you just list out your bands. You know what I'm saying? Give your opinions on them, a few of them.
Mhm.
It's not. Come on, Simo. Like, bro, we've been doing these music programs. Like, learn from the masters over here. Me and Earl, bro. We know how to produce these musical programs.
All right, but I'm
Follow
gonna forget
us.
the list by the time we get to it.
Nah, have your list. It'll be fast, bro. Come on. This is a big show. This is 8.
You want me to do it right now?
No, commercial break. We're coming back.
Okay.
Sponsored by Quicker Picker Dicker Upper. Stop. Take a shit real quick. See, that's that polka dot, bro. That's a strat, right?
Yep, that's right there. I got it in the Skype chat right
We
now.
confirm shit over here on program. Famous fucking lick of the early 2000s, bro. We'll be right back, folks.
All right. Baby, do you wanna do me?
you round and round and round and round. And I just went in Keith's corner. His shirt is listed. He went in and out of this. Keith Barber, old man Davey, in the crow's nest, the gravy. You smooth, baby. Everyone. Dr. Brown, you smooth right now.
Yeah,
Hold
that's
on.
right.
You smooth, Dr. Keith's Corner,
My weed smooth.
which is Keith's Corner, which is it was a short programming
Yeah.
back 4 or 5 years ago. Keith, you did a Keith's Corner on
Yeah,
Joe
exactly. It
Cronin's
was like,
show.
you know.
Keith's Corner. So
Yeah.
And
Keith,
then
you're a big. Go ahead.
okay.
So
My
Keith, hold
first
on. You're a
one-
big hold on. Let me
What about
introduce you real quick. Keith, you're a big musical guy. You're a big music fan. You're a DJ. Christ's
Yes.
sake. So you're multicultural with the music. So
Yeah.
this is your top 25 bands. Start with the 25. One being
Yes.
your favorite. Keith Rabarber, back in the community. Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Respond.
Number 1 is Breaking Benjamin.
No. Start at 25, you dill hole.
Oh, okay.
God damn it, bro. You spoiled your favorite.
All right.
Great job.
25 is Edema.
Who?
24
that?
is
Hold on. Who
Hey.
is that? Sounds like a
Edema?
shampoo.
they have 2 hits, but I forgot the 2 hits. They're like back in from 2005.
Yeah.
Literally 2005.
Edema.
Seriously?
Edema.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sounds
they
like
have
a facial cream. Go ahead. Number 24. Go ahead, Keith, for Barbara.
3 Days Grace.
Ooh.
Number 23, Sum 41.
Wow,
Number
big JV
20
fan over here.
Number 22 is Stereo Mud. Number 21 is Disturbed. Number 20
Oh,
is
hold on.
Godfather.
Pause.
What?
Disturbed. Great group. Everyone's a big Disturbed guy on this call.
Yeah, they are. They do come
Right.
up with some good stuff there.
Thank you. Number 20 is Godsmack.
Yes.
Yeah. They're still
Number
together,
19
thank
is
goodness.
Kid Rock.
Yeah,
Number
as a
18
whole, yeah. Hold on. You're a big Kid Rock guy, right? We all were at a point when he
Yes.
came out. He was hot. He was hot. He was very, very popular. Everyone was a big Kid Rock guy back in.
I wasn't.
I wasn't. Ball with the ball, bro. Really?
I was
Detroit
never.
and everything.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But here's the thing. When it gets to the point where he now, this is a former rapper who had his hair looking massive, head straight up in the outer space. He took the eraser head look a little bit too far. Let me find a picture, put it in the Skype chat here. How do you look back in 1990? And all of a sudden, he now portrays himself as this all-American, I don't know, redneck, loving, beer swigging, ZZ Top listening, so and so. And I'm sorry, I
Come
wasn't,
on,
I
man.
was, I wasn't a big fan of his stuff, because I'm not into country music. But the thing, and after
Bro, he did
living,
multi fucking different genres. What are you talking about?
yeah, but the thing was, after hearing about the reason I get pissed off because I lived in a town called Richmond, Michigan for about 7 years, and all people would talk about, all they would play on the radio, whether it's or they play on the jukeboxes at the bars up there, whether it was Kid Rock, Leonard Skinner, or Toby Keith, country music basically. And so,
Yes.
when I think of Kid Rock, I think about that area in Richmond. Now, keep in mind there was good people in Richmond that I did hang with occasionally, but I'm sorry, when I think of Kid Rock, I think about that area. So pardon the
Kid Rock's first album was a country album.
No, this first album was a rap album called Grits Sandwiches for Breakfast back in 1990. And I will find proof right now.
For real? Are you serious?
Serious.
Oh, wow.
Early
I didn't know
90s.
that.
Yep. And I will find out, and I will show it to you just a second there. You guys keep talking.
So, Keith, go along with your list, please.
Number 18 is Limp Bizkit. Number
Ooh.
17.
What?
Hold on. They were really popular, bro. Really popular on the radio and shit back in the day. Concerts.
Yeah.
They worked with Stain, right? A little bit here and there. And they
Yeah,
did some show song.
Yep.
Now
they-
that we're here. Some shit.
Outside.
On the outside. Yeah, that one. And you're looking through me.
It was the Family Values tour.
Yeah, the Family Values tour, bro. That's what I'm saying. People don't even know, like, back in the day, that, like, post-college rebel skater generation, back in the 2000s, like, late 90s, early 2000s, that whole skateboarder mind frame, bro.
I
You know,
know.
Jackass was out, fucking, all that shit, Steve-O and shit, bro. That was nice. Who else?
Yeah.
Slim Biscuit, besides that.
Number 17, Linkin Park.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow. You're a big 2000s band guy. Would
Mostly,
you rip off JB's list?
I got into rock in 1999, and I was into it to like 2005, and then I swayed away from it, and then I came back into it like 2010 or 2012.
So basically, you got into it at a young age when all these alternative new metal groups were out.
Right, exactly.
Well, sit
I
down.
remember I was on my school bus going to middle school, and there was a guy. He was on my bus. He was going to high school because the middle school and high school were on the same campus. So he he put headphones in my ears. He said, "Listen to this." And I never heard rock music before, and he played Nirvana. And I was like, "Man, I
Oh,
want to
Kurt
hear more of
Cobain.
this." And he told me where to find more of the rock music.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Check the Sky chat right now. I'm about to post a cover of Kid Rock's first album from 1990.
Oh yeah, Kurt Cobain deserved to be murdered.
Oh, man.
Oh wow, it's cool.
Hey.
Um,
And check out how
number
Kid...
16, Weezer.
Wait, who?
Weezer.
It's a good one.
Number 15, Incubus. Number 14, Avenged Sevenfold.
Ooh.
Well, they're pretty good there. I give them credit for that. They had good numbers there.
Yes. Number 13, Seven Dust. Number 12, A Perfect Circle. Number 11, Tool.
Tool. You're a big Tool guy.
I am.
Yeah,
a
you
big
got to
Tool guy.
got to give them a mention. Definitely a huge mention for their work.
Keith, can you give us Double Barrel Shotgun? Can you give us that?
Double Barrel Shotgun.
Yeah.
All right.
You
Please
come
continue.
steal from me, you'll get the Double Barrel
All right,
Shotgun.
all right. Please continue. Come on, you're overdoing it.
Number
Alright.
10, AC/DC.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
No one mentioned Angus Young
Yeah, he deserves a lot of
or Ted
kudos.
Nugent. Ted
Yeah,
Nugent's a good one.
yeah,
Guitarist.
Detroit's own, yeah. Both those cats deserve a huge, massive mention there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I considered including Nugent, but again, 20's hard.
All right, Keith.
Number 9, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. Horrible. I hate them. They're like my least favorite band.
Wow.
Next to it's three of them: The Who, Aerosmith, and GNR.
I don't like
overrated
classic rock,
to me.
but when I was dipping into a
That's
little
a typical
classic rock,
plebeian.
Aerosmith is overrated.
Typical
Overrated.
plebeian fucking
Who?
plebeian view.
Aerosmith
number 8,
is overrated.
who?
Wait, hold on, bros. What'd you say?
Aerosmith is overrated.
Oh yeah, I agree
I would
with
agree. I agree as all. I mean, like, first thing they are going to talk about rock and roll, they're going to think about Aerosmith. Let's go deeper than that, folks. Come on.
Toys in the
Num-
attic.
Number 8, Pop Evil. I love Pop Evil.
They're interesting. I've heard some of their tunes.
Yeah. Number 7, Everclear.
Ugh.
Wait, hold on, Keith. How old are you?
Yeah.
Aren't you like 40? Keith, aren't you 42?
I'm 34.
Jesus, you're old.
He's,
Everclear, don't they have?
I think he's 2 years younger than Cronin, isn't he?
Yep.
Everyone's like 34 in this community. Keith, Everclear.
I'm older.
One hit wonder band, yes or no?
No. He had that one song, Santa Monica. He had, of course, he had "I Will Buy You a New Life" and "Father of Mine," and yeah,
Big
everything.
Everclear guy over here. What?
The early,
Yeah,
another
that song,
early
One Hit
2000s band.
90s
Number
band.
6, The Offspring.
They're good.
Number
I like
5,
Some of the stuff is pretty good, I admit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like though. It's kind of
Pop punk. It's
Emo-ish. Yeah, pop
satire
emo-ish.
punk pop.
All right, so who's next?
Number 5, Bullet for My Valentine.
Hmm.
Number 4, Stone Temple Pilots.
Wow.
finally someone decent.
And by the way, here's somebody I want to bring up. And this is a message to the radio stations out there. Don't you think it's time you should give their new lead singer a chance to be played on the radio?
No, I don't.
You didn't think it was that good?
No, it's decent. It's cool.
I'm talking about the new singer they got now to replace Scott Whalen.
Right.
It'd be
Mars
nice.
is a big STP guy, big Scott Weiland guy,
Yeah,
for real.
yeah, but sad.
Number
But no, go ahead, Keith.
number 3, Nirvana.
Nirvana, Keith Cobain. Would you put him on a great guitarist list or no?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, would you put him on a greatest guitarist list or no?
Yes.
Kurt Cobain over there.
Yes.
Really? I mean, it's definitely a signature sound, you know, but go ahead. Who else?
Oh, I wrote 2 number 3s. Okay, so it says number 3, Seether. Number 2, Chevelle.
You're a big Chevelle guy. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still together?
They almost like hit it big, but they fell off. You know, like all those bands fell off. To be honest,
Wow.
like all those
They
bands,
weren't
bro.
that popular to begin with.
Like the
Just-
bands we mentioned, the classics. They like a lot of them still tour. Like all these 2000s bands, they somewhat do, but like their following is not near as much as those classic people. You know, those 2000 bands. They kind of all fell off. Keith Barber, who's your number 2 and number 1?
I said number 2. Number 2, Chevelle. And number 1 is Breaking Benjamin.
Which that was an influence from JB, correct?
Yes.
Wow.
Really?
In like number 3, but because of JB, it went to number 1.
Wow.
So you'd never heard of them before you heard them from JB?
No, I did. It's just that like they were on number 3 on my old list, and then my new list they became number 1.
No. Now,
Okay.
Keith, I put something in the Skype chat here. You said this was actually the cover of Kid Rock's first album from 1990. Definitely open up the Skype chat and check it out how he looked.
Is that
back
really
then.
him?
That's him.
Yeah.
From 1990.
Wow. Like
Yep.
what kind of was he just doing
He
hip
was a
hop
rap.
or something at that
yeah,
point?
he was a rapper. He was a rapper.
They sound like Vanilla Ice.
No, he didn't like Vanilla Ice, but he was like he was in the same. His first record was produced by some other rapper named D Nice, if I remember. And I had the cassette for a while there when I lived in Richmond, just to prove to the idiots out there who only know him from his Rebel Without a Pause type of stuff there, the ball with the ball, to prove this that hey, this is a Kid Rock this is the same Kid Rock that you're listening to now, folks.
Sweet Baby Ray sucks. All right, so
Is there any way you can put that on your screen?
What like on my
Kid
thumbnail?
Not on the thumbnail, but as
don't
in
fuck-
like just
he does
just
not
on
do that.
OBS. But if it's too hard, don't worry.
Yeah. I should probably do
So
that.
that
was
you know
a
what?
good,
I should probably do that on the next broadcast if we are ever decide to do a broadcast together. We should probably use that as a thumbnail. Definitely.
That is fun.
But
So
the-
that was a good list from Keith. Now we're
Oh,
gonna
I
do,
forgot Corn.
What?
Corn, yeah,
Corn? Oh
very
yeah.
influential.
Yeah.
So Simo is gonna have his list next. I wrote a little song for Simo personally. It's a staple song in the community, of course, a flagship song for Simo. So we're gonna go ahead and play that tune, and then Simo, have your list ready.
And
we're gonna
also,
dive into that.
why are we you had your song of the week there earlier on?
Yeah, I already
think?
mentioned
I
it.
never mentioned mine. After Simo's
Well, we'll do
list.
it after.
Simo's list.
Yeah, do
definitely
it after
for sure.
Simo's list. Yeah.
Yes.
So, guys, this song is dedicated in a tribute to Detroit's own, or actually Detroit's own, Detroit, not Detroit. It's Detroit. Simo. You want a DJ? DJ Cosimo. You want to hear your favorite song? Call DJ Cosimo. And you can't go on without DJ playing the song. Yeah. Simo, play me a song. Tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Detroit's favorite DJ. DJ Scotty M. Simo. You wanna hear you?
Pathetic.
Simo, yeah.
There you go.
Hey, great intro song. I appreciate that.
That's like a staple song, bro, in this community. It's been around for months. All right.
That
You
is
know when I
beautiful.
made that song? Hold on, quick sidebar. You know when I made that song? Like the first Tribunal. Remember the original Tribunal before Mars started doing them? It was on this
Yeah.
channel. I got everyone together. We all shit on Scott or whatever. And then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, we were all cool again. That's when I
That's
wrote
all
that
right.
song, bro. You know? So, CMO, Detroit guy,
Hmm.
big rock guy, a real DJ, just like Keith. Made this list a couple days ago, right? Or yesterday or something?
I think I sent it to you 2 days ago.
So, the fresh list. If you have any honorable mentions, any extras, you can throw them in there. But
I do have some honorable mentions because a lot of mine have already been mentioned. I had, 4 people go ahead of me, so a lot of them's going to be the same. With mine, I went with a lot of the music that I like. Of course, I didn't really go with like technical skill or anything like that. That's a whole different story. But and for the future thing, I think we need to like make a difference. See if it's going to be like a favorite or best in your opinion.
well, it was supposed to be kind of like a mix, bro.
All right, so we got Stevie Ray Vaughan, which I believe Dave mentioned. Jimi
I mentioned it
Hendrix.
first. Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, Steve Vai, I believe somebody just mentioned a minute ago. George Lynch, Dimebag, Zach Wilde,
Yep.
Jimmy Page. All these have been mentioned. Angus Young was briefly mentioned, but I don't believe anybody had him on the list.
No, he was not listed. He was unlisted,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, there was a lot, like we
Very
said, there was
influential.
there was a lot more we
Another
could
thing,
have. There was a lot more we could have added, but we had to keep it at 20 for this program here. Most of them go up to past 30.
Right. And then the next one, Ted Nugent, which somebody just brought up that nobody put on the list.
Yeah.
He came up with some damn good licks there. And he did
Now,
learn
here's-
on jazz guitar, by the way. The Gibson Birdland that he plays, that's usually played for jazz guitar playing. But he liked the tone of it, and he made it a staple of a guitar.
Not only that, he just listened to like some of the solos, like Wang Dang Poontang and fucking Stranglehold. That's all you really knew.
Yeah.
Strangled Hold, yeah.
Um,
Weekend Warriors.
yeah, I mean any of those solos. Then we get to somebody that nobody mentioned, but they're from Slayer, Jeff Hanneman. He's
Oh, yeah.
dead
Rest
now.
in peace.
Another person who's dead, Chuck Schuldiner, very influential in death metal.
The band
Started up
Death.
the band Death.
Yes.
Yeah. Kirk Hammett from Metallica, I believe somebody mentioned. The next
Wired
one
me.
is Jeff Waters. I don't know if anyone knows who that is.
Yes, I know.
No.
The guitar player for the band Annihilator, another metal group.
Yes, Alice in Hell and all that shit. Yes, 80s metal.
Yes.
Sinister Gates, which is the guitarist from Avenged Sevenfold, which Keith just mentioned.
Yep.
He's going to go down as one of the greats. Still very young, still killing it. Alex Skolnick,
Yeah, from Testament.
Testament. Yep,
Yep.
one of the thrash metal bands in the 80s.
Yep.
Doesn't really get a lot of credit. Then this one I threw in just to be very with a very broad stroke. Wes Borland, which was just mentioned. Limp
The
Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit guitar player. Yeah, the one who
Really?
dressed up in those crazy costumes.
Yes, his guitar playing, especially when he's live, the guy will just go off on his own and play covers, and Fred Durst will have to stop him. The guy is fucking insanely talented.
And by the way, didn't Wes Borland move to Detroit with his wife and put together a group called Queen Kong? I guess it is. Because I
Yeah,
was
that-
reading that,
and-
I was seeing that on Facebook there a couple of times.
Yeah, he's very musical, but he's not going to get the recognition that Limp Bizkit got. So he's he's kind of under that shadow.
Yeah.
Jerry Cantrell, Alice in Chains guitarist.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
to throw some grunge in there.
Oh yeah.
All you have to do is
Guitar
listen to Man in
playing
the
on
Box
there.
solo.
Yeah. Usually
Extremely
grunge rock didn't feature guitar solos, but thank goodness Cantrell was able to fix that problem.
Exactly. And
I
he
used
did
to
a
hear
lot
that
of
song
solo.
a lot. Man
He
in
did
the
a lot
Box
of
on the
solo
radio when I was like
Man in the
6
Box,
and shit.
yeah.
When I was like really a little kid, I used to hear that a lot on the radio.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
So,
The next. Go ahead.
Now I know that Ozzy once christened Alice Chains as the '90s version of Black Sabbath for a while, because of the atmosphere, the tone of the music, and the subject matters of their songs.
Oh yeah, lots of songs about drugs and
Yeah,
death and Mark Tremonti.
Oh yeah.
He was
Creed.
Creed.
He started
Alter
with
Bridge.
he started with Creed, but ended up with Alter Bridge. Insanely talented. He has his own band called Tremonti now,
Yep.
which is mostly solos galore. Fucking incredibly talented.
I seen
Kinda
Creed
nice.
live, second row, guys, and I was standing
Nice.
right in
I
front
love
of
Alter Bridge.
smoking a joint at a Creed show.
Did you pay attention to Tremonti? Because if you did, he would be on your list. That's fucking dude's insane.
I like when he puts his foot up on the amp when he plays the guitar. It's like he puts his one foot up on the.
Yep.
Yeah, he's great.
Yep.
Tremolo trick picking. We got Eddie Van Halen, of course, and
Yes.
I had to pick a number one. My number one is Randy Rhoads. Just his style for
Yeah.
those first two albums, they're fucking incredible. Here, I want to go into just a couple more honorable
Special
mentions.
sidebars.
Just run right through it. Mick Mars from
Oh, yeah.
Motley Crue.
Who's
Yes.
still kicking it
Yeah.
despite his condition. You know, he has this arthritic condition, which name I cannot pronounce, but he's still
You
out
still
there
haven't seen the
kicking.
Dirt Brown?
No, I haven't, sadly.
Yeah, Mick
Yes,
Mars
he is.
deserves a mention. Tony
Yeah, he
Iommi,
does.
of course, I didn't
Yep.
have him on my list. Jim Root from Slipknot and Stone Sour is insane.
Mhm.
Dave Mustaine, Buckethead. I don't know if anybody knows who Buckethead
I
Yes,
was gonna,
I know.
I was
I
gonna
know,
ask
mention it, yeah.
about Buckethead, because
Yes, I heard of him. Yes, definitely. He
is.
did time
Insanely
with.
talented.
He
Yeah,
did.
I
Yeah, he
think
did
so,
time
but
with
he's-
Guns N' Roses as well.
Yep.
Axl's Guns N' Roses, I should
with
say.
the Chinese Democracy Tour as well.
Yeah.
Right. And we've already mentioned Zach Wilde and Randy Rhoads. Jakey Lee deserves a mention. He had some
Yeah.
great work.
Zach
Yes.
Wilde mentioned, because I don't remember.
Yeah, he did. He played on Ozzy's Bark of the Moon and The Ultimate Sin. He later had a band of his own called Badlands later on.
Wait,
Yeah.
he played. Wait, Zach Wilde played guitar on the song "Bark on the Moon."
No,
No, Jakey Lee.
Jakey Lee.
Oh,
And then three more here. Tom Morello deserves a mention because
Yeah.
of the innovation that he has. Alan Collins from Leonard Skinner
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
played fucking Freebird.
Ah,
And then John Lee Hooker, since we were talking about blues.
yes.
Yeah, very influential.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The problem is, I could have done just 20 people who, of blues guitarists. I wanted to
Yep.
mix it up a bit, but I had a lot of blues guitarists on there.
It's really tough. And like for future lists, I think we should have to put them in order just to make it a little more diffeful, and then you'll
Yeah,
probably
that's
see
good.
different names,
that's what I'm saying. We can do it with the lead guitarist. Lead singer slash frontman
Frontman.
on the next
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
But it should be come on, you got to make it timely as well, because each of us have gone through 20 names and stuff. So maybe top 5 or maybe top 10 at most.
Yeah,
'Cause 20 is
10's,
too much,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree because
Yeah, but it's fun that way, though. Everyone gets their fair part on the show and reads their individual list.
But
Like, it's fun.
that's another thing. If there's the more people, of course, like mine, I just ran through my list. Most of them
Well,
are on
obviously,
there.
yeah,
so-
but y'all are the main squeeze, and here. Obviously, if there's some sidewinders over there in the
Yeah.
audience that they're
No, but think of it this way, man. Think of it this way. You and Earl did great when you guys reviewed your stuff, because you guys were given that background information, all this
Yeah.
weird trivia and stuff that most people don't know about. It's just it's fun to listen to and hear. So that's why if you limit the number of people featured in a list, it gives you guys and everyone the opportunity to then just speak specifically about that person, and you can go into more detail rather than try to rush it.
Yeah.
Right, and then ultimately, I was trying to prove a point Puppet Master confirm, with you, Rose, on the show, and Simo on the same program here, that
Yeah.
music is a common bond. Y'all
Yeah.
are went after each other for past weeks, and you can just.
Correct.
I mean, come on, guys. Bridge building 101. You know what I mean? Come on.
There you go.
Let's give ourselves a round of applause.
All right. Everybody. Shout out to everybody here on this call and to everybody watching on both our channels there. I know, and no, what's his name? Mr. Strokobean. He's on my chat. He's mentioned a few notable mentions.
You have to feature him on your show, man, because he knows so much.
Hey,
So much. I had a
yeah,
conversation
I had
with
him
that
on
guy
here.
once.
Hey, you want to call in the show, Mr. Strokobean? I have you gotta help me pronounce his first name because I have trouble with it. He mentioned
Artenius.
He had mentioned Ken Simmons. He had mentioned Alvin Lee from 10 Years After. He mentioned
Guys.
What?
Sort of interrupt, but you know one person nobody mentioned, at least I don't think so? Slash.
Well, yeah, I said I had him on my list originally, but I took him off because I was like, I'm not a real GNR guy anyway.
Slash. He's not big on
Throw him
Slash.
on there.
But we got to say that A, he's influenced a lot of people, and B, he is talented.
Yeah, that's true.
Extremely.
To an extent.
I mean, Axl Rose did say he'd been waiting a long time for someone who plays from their heart, not just from their fingers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So and the solo he did on "Welcome to the Jungle" was kind of slow, but it fit momentum perfectly.
I agree about Slash.
Yeah.
Well, just a final honorable mention.
Yeah, definitely. But it's a good idea. Definitely should mention him. Definitely.
It just surprised me that nobody did mention him, like as in like have them on the list as one of the ones that they chose in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely good idea there. Definitely good idea.
I could really go all day if I could
He
name
was
like
also
you
in
said,
Velvet
100.
Revolver.
What again? Did Keith say something, man?
Yeah, Keith Moon. Come on.
He was also in Velvet Revolver.
Who?
Yes.
Slash? Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yes.
That's right. Along
He
with
was also-
Scott
True,
Whalen.
bro. Wow.
But I prefer Slash's Snake Pit more.
Ah, yeah, he had that project
It's unfortunate because Slash I think came out after Velvet Revolver with some other band
going on.
before he got back into GNR. I can't remember what it was called, but
I think it was
wasn't
just
the Snake
Slash. I think it was just Slash
good in
with
the
Michael
chat.
Kennedy.
Saying, bro, I get it.
Yeah.
And I heard your message yesterday. You don't have to explain
Yeah.
yourself. I get it. I should have gotten it. I
What
got
was
it back then too.
What the hell?
What did I
Because-
get? Did you listen here?
I just
say
heard
I was
that. I
trying
thought
to
that was
speak
you at
personally.
first.
Listen, I say I get it. I get it. I got it. Listen.
the fuck?
That's what I'm saying, bro. I get it. And I heard your message yesterday. You don't have to explain yourself. I get it. I should have gotten it. I
And
got
who's
it
playing
back
this?
then too. I knew.
YR yet again is just throwing the show off the rails.
No,
Because
why am I
everything
saying I
needs
got
to
it 1,000 times though? That's why I don't
Have
get
comedy as opposed to just continue talking about music.
it. You got to throw in some New York comedy in there. Come on.
No, you don't.
Sorry.
But anyways,
Go ahead.
Speaking of, happy birthday, New York.
Ah, the city of New York or the state of New York?
Isn't it Ken's birthday?
yeah, it's
Um,
Ken's birthday today.
Oh, nice.
Birthday.
Is it really?
Yeah, wow.
Is it really?
I think I
Oh,
heard
get him on
about
the
that.
show.
earlier.
Okay, let's see if he'll call in. Hold on.
All
Man,
right.
on the show.
All right.
What is he? 52?
No, he's in his 40s. He's probably in.
68-year-old man entertaining
He's
11-year-olds
42.
on YouTube. Real great. Yeah.
I think he's
It'd
past.
be
I think
nice
he's
to
past
continue
42.
to talk about music personally.
Yeah.
I mean, that is why we're here, isn't it?
Yeah, but let me wish Ken a happy birthday. This is
Well,
important.
you can
he's
do that
probably- he's
when
probably
his show
setting-
starts at
He's
9:30.
turning 43.
65-year-old man entertaining 2-year-olds on YouTube. Real great.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Glad that you care so much about your show that you're willing to be a Drew and derail it.
Well,
Drunk.
his show's
I'm
going to
drunk.
start around 8:30.
9:30.
Yes, we're going to start. I'm drunk, bro.
Well,
Well,
9:30 Eastern.
Eastern time, yes.
So in 55 minutes.
Yeah.
But also another challenge might be to talk about one genre of music, and then list the top say again, guitarists for say heavy metal, or say blues, or some genre of rock.
Prog rock.
Like there's so much to
60s
choose
rock.
from,
60s
and you stick
rock,
to that
yeah.
one genre. At least through the show, and then you could cover you could do that, maybe even cover the decades, maybe 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, so
The
forth.
1950s as well.
I started with the 1950s.
Yeah.
Yo,
I did
Keith,
hear.
you're a big 1950s music guy, right? You mentioned it. That's in your catalog. Keith Barber.
Yeah, I know the songs, but I don't know the artists.
Like what
Oh.
songs
I mean-
from the 50s?
Man, I don't even remember. It's
Come on, man. Name a couple. Throw out a couple songs.
all right. Stay by Mark or
Maurice-
some
Maurice
Williams
William-
and his Zodiac.
Maurice
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Like,
Come on, Keith, bro. Come on, you know.
What about Richie Valens? Ooh, My Head, or Donna?
how about the Four Seasons?
Frankie Valli and his boys
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I don't even remember. Like,
Oh, you gotta look those.
I'm not even on that anymore.
Get a what?
I'm not even on that anymore.
Oh,
You don't like 50s hits?
I do, but like I was going through a phase where I was listening to the 50s, and then like that phase was like a long while ago.
so it wore out.
Yeah.
More
Like
of a
I'm not even
phase.
into music anymore. Like
You're not into music anymore.
nah,
Ooh.
I know, but it's like I remember like the music from the past, but I don't care about the music of the future.
Oh, I see.
Ah,
Well, there's quite a lot of shitty music these days, so
that's true.
can't necessarily blame you for your cynicism.
Yeah, thanks. But actually, I like Lil Pump. I like Lil Yachty.
Nah, come on,
Uh,
man.
What about
Those are the
Little
artists
Peep?
that are ruining the culture of America, bro, and ruining the
Ruining the
fucking
hip hop
youth and teen, bro.
ruining
Yeah,
hip
no,
hop.
the hip hop culture is ruining the fucking youth culture. What are you talking about?
Mm.
Everyone wants to act all ghetto and black and shit and hood. And it's fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
You got a point there. I cannot tell you how many white kids in back around Ecorse,
Sickening.
Michigan used to do
Sickening.
that.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, we've been
People
around
like
the
Joe
block.
Corona that like want to be black, basically. You know, that basically.
Oh
I
my
think
god.
I'm proof that you can get high and it doesn't have to be about music.
Well, when did you do Triple C's last? Didn't you say a couple months ago?
Yeah, like 3 months ago. And what I do is like I don't listen to YouTube for like 3 days.
Oh.
So wait, how many did you take? Like, how many did you take?
32.
Jesus Christ,
Hold on.
dude.
What are we
32?
talking?
Triple C's. Tell them, Keith.
What's a
what you
triple
do.
C?
I was gonna
It's
ask myself.
Corsetin Coffin Cold.
What?
The what?
Corsetin Coffin Cold. Like you
Corseed and cough and cold.
there's the
Oh,
DXM in
It's
there.
cough syrup.
Yeah.
No, it's
And
pills.
what? You drink it straight? Oh,
Pills?
it's pills.
Really?
Yeah, cough
It's
pills.
like cough syrup, but pills, basically, in pill form. Yeah, it's the DXM.
And you did 32. What? Today?
Yeah, like that's like a whole box, bro.
No, like 3
Holy
months ago.
shit, dude! What is
Oh,
that?
3
Your
months ago.
Is that your own homemade lean right there,
You get
Yes.
fucked up on it, bro. Like, you get fucked up.
dude?
Like, robot, fucking, like, you get the wah-wah.
Yeah, one morning
You are
I woke
so
up.
gonna be
I thought I was
fucked
a
up,
robot.
man. I swear.
Hey, but it's better than weed.
Cheap
It's
high.
like one step above weed.
Nah, fuck that, bro. It's like a trip high, but fuck that shit. It's not better than no weed. Fuck out of here.
Just stick
It's a
with the
cheap
weed
high,
and let
bro.
it go at that, man.
Yeah, come on, Keith, bro. Brother.
All right.
You could probably get
I don't even
a.
do that anymore.
They do hit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Triple C's do hit. Like, you'll be, like, slurry, but you'll be like wanting to talk to people, like, hey, you know,
You'll probably and
interactive
next
or
song you
whatever.
never. But then again, you're going to be like so high, you'll probably be talking to a plant or something like that, but you won't notice
Yeah.
because you'll be zoned out of your damn mind.
Nah. I don't know. It's like weed, but one step above.
No, it's not. It's 1,000 steps above. We're out of here. It's intense, bro. Come on. It's like a
Yeah,
step
one
below
time I woke
acid.
up, I thought I was a robot.
See, it's like a step below shrooms.
Oh
It's like
gosh.
right there. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's not like a quick little buzz, bro. It's a whole fucking mind frame.
Yeah.
Yo, one time I was on it. I was listening to Sirius XM in my room, and then I thought I was on the ceiling, and I was looking down at the floor.
While you were high on that stuff there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, Keith.
Dude, you
Keith,
know,
did you listen to the whole Throwdown last night?
Did I what?
Listen to Throwdown last night?
Yeah. I thought Devious Dave Rose was on it, but I listened to the whole thing. It wasn't because
No.
I heard a clip, like in the middle. I thought it was Devious Dave Rose, but it was really Jesse.
No, it was just basically
he had
Jesse, Drew, and Joe right there. They're the main hosts of that show now.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like Joe has to chase and be that SJW character right now, or else he's gonna get pounded. You know, there's JD things going on. Like he has to fucking be a nice guy or whatever. You know what I mean? I think just because of this JD shit, not because of this fucking riots and shit, because of the JD shit, Joe being the same kind of deal has to be that not polished, just nicer 2020 SJW character.
Yeah.
Dave Rose. Opinions, Dave Rose?
Can you just
Thanks,
ask
fair
that again?
assessment.
I was responding to Arcanolia. What was that you said?
Joe Cronin, SJW, him playing that character right now. He's doing it not because of the riots. I mean, a little bit, but he started it because of the JD thing. You know, he's seeing what happened to JD, being super shock, whatever, and Joe's toning it down. He has to be, you know, sweet, soft. SJW. I mean, is that a fair assessment?
I think it influenced it, but I still think that the majority of it
all of a
is
sudden, bro?
because of the pandering and the riots.
You know what I don't get? How come you claim to be in the middle, but then you want to vote for Bernie Sanders? Like, you can't get more left than Bernie Sanders.
Who wants to vote for Bernie Sanders?
Joe.
Really?
Yeah. You do raise a good point there, Keith.
Thanks.
Even Keith knows.
Yeah, you see exactly.
I'm sorry. Bernie's a bad choice.
And then he said he would vote for Kanye West, but Kanye West said his policies would be like.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Free Yeezys
Leah wouldn't even vote for Joe Cronin. You know what I'm saying?
Well, apparently, isn't Joe in the doghouse because of his thoughts on, for not condemning President Trump as much as she did for his
so
actions.
original.
He is.
Condemn and talk shit about Trump. It's so original. Wow.
Well, who hasn't talked shit about Trump through the past?
Exactly.
How many? That's since
Well,
he
he's not
ran
doing
for
it.
elect.
Well, I haven't really talked shit about him. I've criticized him on valid points and backed up my, my ideas with information, but just
But you have
trash.
your typical slander. You know, racist. He's racist. I mean, that's like the main one.
Because the reason they say that is because all the talk about sending all the illegal immigrants back. Because you remember, the majority of the people today were brought up to supposed to respect other cultures, respect other ethnic races. We should be more accepting, more open.
Should respect other cultures.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you got to remember. But the thing is, these were people who came here in this country illegally, you know. And these big companies who hire these workers here, for cheap pay, and the company's going to favor them because it saves the workers, saves the companies a lot of money, while it leaves us hard workers, Americans, who are trying to
Dr. Brown,
feed their.
there's a big Latino population in Houston, right?
I know.
Huge.
Yes, I understand that well. Yes. I've been to Houston many times in the past, before the pandemic, and it is definitely Latin, definitely, as you say, multicultural races there, Asian as included.
Yeah, but mostly Hispanic.
Yeah,
like
that's
75%.
true. Yeah,
Hey, you know who Dak Prescott is?
Dave Prescott.
Yeah. Did he
Dak
get his sign his
Prescott?
deal?
No,
Do we
quarterback
really
for-
care about isn't?
Excuse me.
What about
Do we
him? What
really
about him?
care-
What about him?
I don't think we really care about it.
Yo!
What the
What
fuck?
about him? What about
My point is he said a term earlier that really I've never really paid attention to or really heard before. Black multiracial is what he called himself. Got a little chuckle out of that one.
I mean,
Do you know what a
is
black
half.
multiracial person would be?
A black person with many races in their ancestry, I think.
Right.
But
So why are
either
they
black
not-
or multiracial. That's the
Right.
point I think he's putting
Right.
forward.
So why wouldn't he be a white multiracial or Native American?
Just multiracial.
Because he has the African American hair.
Because he had to put the word black in there because of what's going on for it's
water
fucking
beads
the
off his
agendas are
hair.
out of control. Is my point.
Well, the water beats off Dak.
As
Trying
are the
to
fires.
trying to make him
Yeah.
trying to save himself, basically.
But he had to put black multiracial. Which I mean, come on. I mean,
Instead-
multiracial, I guess you can play all sides.
Well,
right?
is
At
well,
all times. So
he is he multiracial? Is he a white guy, a black guy, or whichever?
his dad was black. His mother was Native American.
Okay. So he is a multiracial.
Native American
period.
and white. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
So he's a black Native American, basically.
I don't know. Is he or is he a white Native American?
doesn't
or white black fucking. Who knows?
Dude,
So he gets-
just say you're black from the waist down and let it go at that.
Yeah. My point was, it's agenda. Everything's to push your own agenda these days.
Yeah. Just like they're trying to push their own sexuality.
But the funny thing about it is that all the black people are mad at him right now because he gave $1 million towards cop training
Oh gosh.
instead
they're-
of giving
and it's-
money to Black Lives Matter, right?
Yeah, of course that's what they. Well, Black Lives Matter is only about themselves and their opinions and their agenda and nothing else. Fuck everybody
Yeah,
else.
they are
There.
pissed at him for giving the money to the cops.
Yeah.
Pissed.
Well, a lot of people getting pissed that money that celebrities are bailing out a lot of these protesters that are violent and stuff.
Yeah. Because there's
Yeah,
because
fuck
remember,
Colin Kaepernick.
yeah, they got to remember a lot of today's celebrities are all liberal.
Yeah.
Not only did Chrissy Teigen put the 200 grand up, but there's been like 4 or 5 people that have matched that.
That's what
since
I'm
then.
referring to. Yeah,
Yep.
and they're like
they've
Matt,
matched it. Seth Rogen.
in that
Stand
tweet,
her, bro. I
in
cannot
that
stand Chrissy Teigen and John
in that
Legend.
selection
Ugh.
of tweets,
I
that
don't
was
pay
like
attention. Fuck
$1 million
celebrities.
bucks.
Everybody's talking at once. I didn't hear a word you just said.
I cannot stand Chrissy Teigen and John Legend.
I know, right?
I cannot
Yeah, she's
stand
a
today's
bitch.
Hollywood in general.
Yeah.
My respect towards Hollywood went down the shooter, went down the crapper when all this stupid shit coming when they're trying to be more politically correct, trying to make themselves heroes. I mean, come on.
Right.
Here's the
Let me
dumbest.
ask you a question. Dave Rose. How come you and Simo are fucking getting along so great right now? Isn't this great, guys? This is what it's all about, to be
Good.
honest. No fighting.
Absolutely.
Why
Yeah.
you got to make it weird?
Yeah, seriously.
I'm just saying. Scott McKinnon is the fucking issue. So, no, I'm just kidding. Come on, I'm just kidding. You're supposed to say that, Simo. You're supposed to throw
No,
something out
you
there,
can
okay?
just keep saying that.
No, come on.
Yeah,
We
he
love
wants you.
Scott
He
here.
wants you to get the heat this time.
I don't want my
Oh,
channel
he-
shut down.
I mean, we're
All
seeing
40
something that never
subscribers.
happened, bro. Rose is here, bro. Rose is, they had a mutual
Rose
thing,
is
but
here.
still.
Simo's here. And we're all having a good
We
day.
got to give a round of applause to YR for bringing Simo and rows together, kind of like pushing it a little bit,
yeah.
Here and there. But,
Get SC on here to stroke your ego. We're not gonna do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so-
seriously.
no,
Give me a
It's
little.
gross. You're acting like a Joe Cronin. Just
We
asking.
can
for
all
help.
get along in the community.
And I had a great idea about discussing something about music, and you made me forget it with your incessant nagging.
It's not nagging, bro. It's just
If
It was
anybody
sweet.
needs to be called derailed, it's you. Jesus, fucking derail a thought. You can derail a thought. YR.
That's seriously.
fucking tense. Dude.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
I remember, and this is something maybe you might want to do on another show because it would probably take a long time. But conspiracies regarding the music industry, specifically
yeah.
in the 1960s in Laurel Canyon,
Oh, yeah.
and all the connections that people within like the whole peace movement had with the military-industrial complex, like Jimi Hendrix, for example. What's his name? Morrison from the Doors.
Jim
Jim
Morrison.
Morrison. Kenny Morrison.
Bill, what's his name? Crosby from
David
CS.
Crosby.
Thank you.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
But there's so much. There's so much that you could talk about, and like some really cool but weird things as well. Just because, like, what they used to do back in the '60s. They were big into Crowley and like
Yeah.
black magic, and like definitely
Lot
consider
of
that. I'd love to talk to you about that because there's so much there.
Oh,
Not only-
here's something I gotta tell you. There was a rumor a long time. I remember hearing on a radio station that Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Bonham visited this satanic priest when they were first starting out, and I guess they signed this deal here where they would get fame and fortune, And years years later, they would get their fame and fortune. They're still famous to this very day. But however, in the end, it did cost them a lot. Plant almost died in a car wreck, in which he was hospitalized in a Greece hospital. Jimmy Page had a lunatic that was out to kill him. The band was robbed from of thousands of dollars while they were filming the concert, for which would then eventually be The Song Remains the Same back in '73. Robert's son would later die from a still unknown illness, and then a couple years after that, John Bonham would later pass away. And the only person that was not involved in this particular meeting was John Paul Jones, the bass player and keyboard player and arranger of all the songs. So, which explains why nothing happened to him throughout Zeppelin's career.
Yeah. You could talk about like all the satanic background. Remember the Night Stalker?
Yes.
Richard Ramirez?
Yes, and
Yeah, on the
AC/DC, yeah.
AC/DC shirt. Yep.
The back
That-
masking also include the back masking of Stairway to Heaven.
Yep, that and even the Ozzy song that the kids were killing themselves to. in
Yeah,
the fucking
Suicide
80s.
Solution. There's an original tempo. That song was written about Bon Scott and what happened with him back in early
And about
1980.
drinking, right.
Yeah,
Really?
yes.
I
I
can't
played
remember
all
if
the
it was
time.
Jimmy Page or Robert Plant. I think it was Jimmy Page that bought a house on the shore of Loch Ness.
Page, yes.
Yeah.
It was Aleister Crowley's.
Yep. And apparently there was like Crowley conducted a ceremony in that, but never concluded it. So apparently it never sealed, some sort of portal. So like apparently is or was haunted.
Yes, it was. He was big into that black magic kind of stuff there, from what I understand there. He still doesn't want to talk about it today, but I think it did play a part in what happened to his bandmates, including
Now-
John Bonham's death.
I've heard several reports, but I've also read a lot about this. I can't remember the author's name, but basically David Crosby admitted to him that, for example, the master press that they make for music.
Yes.
Okay, so like there's the master, and then everything else get copied from that, especially with LPs and stuff. So apparently during that period, and it might even continue on to this day, but during that period they were conducting satanic rituals around the master to like infuse energy into it.
Ah.
And apparently Crosby totally admitted it. There's a few
Wow.
people that have come out and admitted that that is the deal. Like that's what they used to do with the masters, the master press.
Wow. That is a trip. That is an absolute. I know, I understand that guarding your recordings like you guard your children, but that takes it to a new level there.
And you might even go so far as to think, well, consider the time in the '60s where there was so much unrest, and who knows, maybe
People
there
were
was some
trying.
sort of influence.
People were
that it
trying new things. They were trying new techniques, new forms of religion, like Wicca, Buddhism, and such.
And where did the whole thing ever come from about playing records backwards to hear messages? Like at one point that became, something that was mentioned, I guess, about Kiss and possibly Led Zeppelin.
Well, that started back with the Beatles. Some Detroit
Beatles.
DJ got a phone call from someone stating that to play Revolution 9 backwards, and he played it backwards, some bits backwards, and referred to Paul McCartney dying in a car wreck in '66 and having them replace it with somebody with a lookalike or possibly a clone.
Billy
He did that.
Shears.
Yes. And he announced it.
The Beatles.
Dr. Pepper. Is there not Dr. Pepper?
Sergeant Pepper.
Sergeant Pepper himself.
Yes.
See, here's the thing, though. On that, is Dr. Pepper. You can go for it.
I know.
You know what's nutty is that I know somebody who basically has proven this scientifically.
Yeah.
That Paul did die in the '60s and he was replaced.
Oh, come on.
The Beatles weren't allowed to come to Israel because Israel said there would be a bad influence on the kids.
When did that happen?
I didn't know about this.
Like the 50s or the 60s.
Oh, well,
Have to be the
this
60s.
had to be in the '60s, yeah, because they were still early teenagers around the '50s.
Simo, you don't agree with Paul McCartney's a clone, do you?
Well, I think a
Not a
lot.
clone. It was
A lot of these things that we're talking about are conspiracy theories, but if you look into like some of the black metal bands that were actually burning churches and fucking
Oh
killing
yeah,
people,
bands
that
like
shit is
Emperor and
extremely
those groups. Yes, I heard about
Mayhem.
that.
Hold on,
Mayhem.
for
that
real?
band,
They were
man.
doing that?
Yeah, they
I'm
were.
sorry.
So no, I want to know more. It's like that's news
the
to me.
band
I never.
Mayhem.
Mayhem,
Brown,
yeah.
tell them about the group Mayhem, what they
Yeah,
used to
but-
do.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Or what they did.
I'm gonna look it up right now because
So
a lot
look
of
it up and God damn it. Go ahead, Earl.
Because a lot of those bands were Swedish black metal bands were responsible for the lot of destruction of various churches around that.
Cannibalism.
Yeah, they
Cannibalism.
really took the satanic stuff too far.
Holy shit!
They're from
Yeah, let's dive into Mayhem.
Oslo.
Look it up. Let's dive into Mayhem real quick.
Yeah, definitely. They were the founders of the Norwegian black metal scene, and their music has strongly influenced the black metal genre. Their career was highly controversial, primarily due to their notorious live performances. The 1991 of their frontman, Pierre Unge, I cannot
Pierre
pronounce his name.
Anguisson. Yeah.
Pierre Anguisson.
Anguisson.
Yeah, nicknamed Dead, and the 1993 murder of guitarist Olsen Arseth,
Yeah,
unanimous.
Olsen Arseth. Yeah.
Yes,
Euronymous,
by former member Varg Vikniers.
Vickers.
Varg
Vikniers of the,
Jesus, man, I'm losing some brain cells listening
yeah,
to this.
I'm listening to a
Dude,
brain now trying
He
to.
just totally just hopped on this goddamn show on this program and shit all over it right now. You disrespect.
Simo called me.
Go
What the
bother
hell?
Ken.
I'm losing brain cells
Go
trying to
Buck
pronounce
Ken.
these names.
Piece of shit.
Just look it
Buck
up, man.
Canyon.
The band Mayhem and everything.
I'm
goes
surprised
around.
YR can pronounce them perfectly.
I know, yeah. I can't pronounce for shit, do it at times. But
Varg Vickerness, he's free now. He did some jail time for killing
Yeah,
his
I
family.
remember, yeah.
That's the long story short.
He ate his piece of his brain.
But it's a badge.
Dave
It was a
Rose.
badge of honor back then for you to burn churches, and it happened all the time. There's been documentaries. Look at Lords of Chaos is one.
Yep.
There's a bunch of shit.
Wow.
On there.
Emperor as well, another black metal
So
band.
this happened when, in the '90s, in the 2000s?
Late '80s, early '90s.
Okay.
Yeah, they take that shit to heart over there, definitely.
They drink goat's blood and shit. They're nutty. Sweden's a nutty place.
Cannibalism and all that.
Most likely, yes. Yep. Wow.
When
I have
Joe
one more
Cronin,
thing to say about.
hold on. When Joe Cronin shoots himself in the head and his dogs are eating his brains, it's basically the same thing this guy was doing.
Ah.
Very morbid.
Clover over there licking up his brains and shit like dog food, like fucking
Oh gosh, that's gross.
It's all empty calories.
Alpo. It's empty calories.
Oh shit.
Empty brain cells.
I have one more thing to say about the Beatles. The purpose of the Beatles was to bring drugs to America.
What?
What?
Are you?
Where'd you get that from?
Wow.
Keith LaBarber. Where'd you get that from? Give us a Keith LaBarber, Dr. Brown. Give us one.
No,
Oh
let
my
him finish
God.
that thought. I
Yeah,
gotta
seriously.
admit.
Let him
Wait,
talk.
Yeah, I want to hear about this.
Well, I don't know much, but the purpose of the Beatles was to bring drugs to America.
Drugs have been in America
gotta give
way
us more than
before
that
the
to go on.
video.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Dude, Keith, drugs have been been imported into America way before the Beatles, way before the 50s. You remember there was a movie called Reefer Madness that was warning people about the effects of marijuana smoking.
Wait
And
a
that
minute.
was back
wait
in
a
the
minute. Are you
1930s.
But
are
what
you
about
saying-
like acid and stuff like that?
Hang on.
Like,
Are you saying that their influence made people do drugs more? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay, I get what you're saying with that. Okay, I understand what he's saying.
But then again,
He's
so
saying the
did the
music
Grateful
was
Dead.
risque. Right. What he said wasn't extremely false. It was just the way you said it was fucked up. But we get what you're saying.
Okay.
That was risque music back then, and the hippie movement made people do drugs more than they would have without hearing the music.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I understand.
And the Beatles were not alone. Jefferson Airplane, the Grateful Dead, bands
Yeah.
like the Strawberry Alarm Clock. Everybody was doing sorts of drugs back then.
Right.
Whether it's
I thought
you
you
take
meant
a
they brought the drugs
people would they
over
would
themselves.
I know that's like sounds like a conspiracy move right there.
Well, but that's the thing, though. It relates to what was going on in Laurel Canyon. And it relates to how, certain aspects of the military-industrial complex at that point recognized that they were at a certain crossroads and stuff with youth culture, and realized that they could not only experiment on the culture but also benefit from it in multiple different ways. So MK Ultra obviously going big, but the use of LSD. Tim Leary, I believe, eventually admitted that he was working for the CIA. He was handing out acid at these concerts and stuff, totally involved in this sort of thing. So, Keith might not be saying it properly, but there's something there in regards to changing the culture of a country, utilizing acceptance on basically unrestricted drugs.
Just like what's going on today with people preying on the youth for the fucking violence that's happening here in the States because they know they can.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think the Beatles were definitely part of MK Ultra.
There's also potentially some information there. There's
Could you repeat that?
Not directly part of MK Ultra, but of mind control program. And again, remember also that these were counterculture. It was counterculture basically. So they were promoting ideas that previously were, taboo, like criticizing the government or going out and protesting, commenting on racial inequities or
letting it all grow your hair
poverty or all these sorts of things. So and again, this also helped the authorities because with, say, for example, what's called COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program, they use that, for example, to infiltrate groups that were trying to make the communities better. What's it called? The Black Panthers.
Yes.
And basically started to utilize them to bait them into being into starting terrorist acts and so forth. So that's how they used that sort of method to infiltrate these groups and stuff. And apparently the music also helped a bit. There's documents I can show you from a group called the Tavistock Institute, which basically proposes this sort of Soviet-style subversion into a country.
Ah,
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I see. We are definitely on the next episode. We gotta definitely dig into that. There, I definitely all
Hey,
for that.
even with the Black Sabbath and their involvement in LSD and
Yeah, they were like kids in it. I know they were.
Really?
A lot of bands were into the LSD and drugs back in the day. That was the,
but
that
they
was
had
the
the
thing.
Into
imagery
Yeah.
to go
LSD
with
though?
it.
What again?
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of
Were
bands
they
were.
really heavy into the acid?
Yeah,
Was
I
that
know
what it
they.
was?
Yeah, hell, everybody was doing. The Bee Gees at the time were doing it. The Beatles were doing it a few times. Even Paul McCartney one time admitted that he did a little bit of LSD to a reporter one time there. Um, Bands like the 13th Floor Elevators, all these psychedelic groups, they were doing LSD like crazy. Eric Clapton at one time admitted that he thought he was a better guitar player while high on that stuff there.
Carlos Santana, that
Oh.
famous Woodstock performance.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he was high or what it was. I'm not too keen on the story on that, but a lot of bands were doing a lot of LSD back in the day, especially in the Bay Area, where the stuff like the Jefferson Airplane, the Grateful Dead, Loving Spoonful, all those bands were out in the out in the excuse me, was going full throttle, to put it basically.
Well, there was a very big promotion of drug culture as well as harder substances, which got pushed, by a variety of groups, and eventually were talked about in music as if it was no big deal, like coke or even heroin.
Yeah. In fact,
You guys,
go ahead.
you guys mentioned Santana earlier. It's called Soul Sacrifice, 1969
Yeah, I
Woodstock.
remember,
If you look it
yes.
up on YouTube, he admits how he was high off his fucking gourd the
Oh
whole
yeah,
time.
yeah. Like I said, every musician was doing that. Everybody was doing that around that time.
Earl,
Yes,
Santana's first album title, what was it?
it was simply called Santana.
Okay, what? Oh, so it wasn't the first album, but there's another album, I can't remember which one it was of
Yeah.
his, called Abraxas.
Yes, that's the one with the cover version of Black Magic Woman, the Fleetwood Mac cover on there, with the nude black lady on the front.
Now, here's something to consider: is Abraxas is a mystical word, either from Gnostic or Kabbalistic origins, which apparently is connected by its geometrical number, connected to the solar system, and there's a figure, like a god, that it's represented by, or at least an avatar, and it has like two legs for a snake, and the head of a rooster, and the torso of a man.
Mm-hmm.
A very weird
Album cover there.
Well, no, this is the god's name, Abraxas.
Abraxas.
But it's not on the cover or anything. I'm just saying that he named it after one of these Gnostic gods. And again, very esoteric, very occult,
Yes.
and potentially very dark.
Ah.
But again, think of the songs on the album, Black Magic Woman, for example.
Yeah, the Fleetwood Mac cover.
So yeah, I mean, like, he's been mentioned to be involved in several different occult groups, and these people all have
here's something
knowledge.
else. So later on during the years, he would he got involved with some Sin Sai Siri. I forgot. I cannot pronounce this man's name, but he was like some sort of a spiritual leader. Him and another guitar player that he worked with lived later on.
Santa. Is it Santorina?
Santorina.
Like a sort of spiritual
name, but he later renamed himself Debadap Carlos Santana throughout the later years, until later he decided to abandon that practice and go back to being just simply Carlos Santana.
That was I never heard that.
I remember hearing about that ages back. And there was a quote on the back of the album cover describing the Abraxas character, I guess it was. I'm looking it up on the Wikipedia right now to find that quote because it was right on the right on. Let's see here. Here's a quote. We stood before it and began to freeze inside from the exertion. We questioned the painting. It was about. They're talking about the. It's from the book Hermann Hesse's book, Demian, quoted on the album's back cover. We stood before it and began to freeze inside the exertion. We questioned the painting, berated it, made love to it, prayed to it. We called it mother, called it whore and slut, called it our beloved, called it our Braxis. And that was on the back of the album cover there. So, and it was originated from a line in the book Dermain. Let me spell it out for you. Demian by Hermann Hesse. So
Nice.
yeah. And as I mentioned, this is the album with their version with of Black Magic Woman, originally done by Fleetwood Mac back in the day, back in the 1960s. Yeah.
Yo, Dave Rose, I'm gonna take a picture of this. That I need someone to explain this shit to me.
Okay.
Give me a second.
My favorite Santana song is "Put Your Lights On."
That's what he did with Everlast.
So
Yeah.
Rose, explain this picture. Why is there 126 thumbs up, 0 thumbs down, and 284 views?
I think I explained.
No idea.
Well, I explained it to you why it's because of the simple fact that it shows just practically the named person when coming up with all these damn fake accounts. And plus, it shows how it's capable of people are of coming up with 100 different fake accounts just to troll either this person or that person.
So someone's doing the fake account character that Scott and others blames me for doing the fake accounts. This person is actually doing it for real.
Well, possibly. I don't know if you want to mention this person here, YR, because it was on the title of your video there. But I rather, if this person is around, he could probably call this program, and so he can either confirm it or deny it, or give his take on this whole thing here.
Who?
Jake Bars. It's on the title there. That reaction made my night alone, man. Jake Bars with 45 accounts. Someone is doing. Gosh, I can't help it, but that was a trip to listen to. Dude. I know, man. Just you doing that.
What are you doing? Happy birthday to Ken. I hope there's mold in your birthday cake, you weirdo.
Oh shit.
Hope Ken gets a blood clot. What's up?
Hey.
Speaking of Ken, his show is going live.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I noticed. I was going to mention.
Go live over us. I'm fucking believable, dude.
Well, we would have
It's not
went
all
on.
about you, Ken.
Well, we would have went live last night, but I think it was, the thumbnail that you created.
Gotta be the thumbnail, right?
Yeah,
It's gotta be.
Yeah, because I featured all these, I guess, copyrighted photos of all these guitar players. I replaced my thumbnail with this awesome looking Flying V here, and it's still up there, still going on.
Wow.
So I think it's probably was the thumbnail that was causing all that disturbance last night.
Well, I'll make sure I'll do it different.
All right, then. All right, so do we have anything any more to talk about, gentlemen, there, or anything else you want to bring up there, or discuss?
Let's just do a drama theme show over Ken's show. How about that? You
Okay,
just
we
want to
could
go
probably.
ahead and
Okay, let's do that.
yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
All right, so let's do something, man. I'm not ready to end. I'm ready to end this yet, man. I'm ready.
Fuck
All right.
I'm
Ken,
ready to
bro.
do
It's
Well,
just
you
something.
gonna be gay
guys
anymore.
enjoy. I'm
Okay.
gonna go watch Ken's show.
All right.
Maybe I'll be back. Who knows?
All right.
Wow.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right. Have a good one
Wow.
there. All right, Dave Rose,
Dude, you're
ladies and
fucking
gentlemen.
not getting none of the pay. He's getting none of the Patreon money from us, so he's going over to work with Ken.
All right,
Shout
so.
out to Jungle Boy. Shout out to the Japanese wrestling culture.
And shout out to what's his name, Argnola Strokelbean for the suggestions.
Magnolia Strokel Bean.
Argnolia Strokelbean. He's in my chat right now. He's come up with some interesting stuff here. You know, John McLaughlin, the Mashu. I cannot pronounce that first name, but it's. I remember somebody burned a CD of his work called Birds of Fire. I played that. I was playing that a couple of times back when I lived in Richmond, Michigan. It's pretty good stuff there. He's definitely gives a good nod as a guitar player there. Quicksilver Messenger Service. Got to definitely look into that group there. The Move in the 60s destroyed stuff on stage. The Move, that's a band that ELO originally originated from, believe it or not. It was originally Roy Wood, Jeff Lynne, and Bev Bevan. I guess I got to look that group up there because it was the first album from ELO titled No Answer, basically evolved from that group. So definitely, I think another subject would have to be where bands started from and how they sounded back then. Y'all for that, Dwyer?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
All right. Definitely got to check that out. Of course, we know it's not your real name, dude. There. All right. So,
What?
I'm talking to Strokelbean there. He said that's not his real name. Well, we knew that. All right, so.
Keith or Barbara, what's anything you have?
Anything you want to add to this program or anything you want to talk about there? Anything you want to mention? Let me ask Keith, if we, me and YR and Dave would suggest certain groups and certain artists, would you take a listen to them?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start with the guy that Dave Rose mentioned a couple of times, Mike Oldfield. You know, he's a prog rock musician, one-man band. What again?
I don't even care about music anymore.
What?
Oh, you sound like you're in a tub.
I can't hear you, man.
No, I don't want to check them out. I don't even care about music anymore.
What?
Wow.
That's why I'm here.
I can't hear you, dude. But the problem is, how can you be a DJ and DJ at all these places and not care about what you're playing?
It's easy money.
Well, that's being a fake. That's being fake. If you're doing it just for the money, then that's being fake. It's not caring about the music or anything.
I started it when I was real. Now I just don't care. But it's like if I do a party, I'm gonna.
Bro, what's wrong with your fucking?
Yeah, we can't
voice?
hear you, dog. What the hell's up with that?
Come on, homie. Give him a homie, Dr. Brown.
Come on, Holmes. What's with you? Yeah, because you sound like you're either in a bathtub or you're far away. You sound like you're talking through a tin can.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Not that much. It still sounds the same.
Oh man, I don't know what's wrong. All right. How about now?
Dude, I cannot make out what you're saying, dude.
Can you hear me now?
Very little.
Okay, I'll turn the volume up. Oh,
Do you have effects box going on with you?
no.
No? No, it's probably, I don't know if it's YR doing that.
You can hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that. That's pretty damn cool, man. I got to get me one of those.
I got the same sound thing as Ken. He
Nice.
copied Cronin, but then Cronin, yeah, it's like a flat $400 or $500 box.
Oh,
So.
dude, I got to get me one of those. See if I could hook it up with my amplifier. You imagine the cool ass sounds that could come
No,
up
I'm
with
just fucking
that?
around. It's like a cheap karaoke mic.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
I think
Yeah, but you
Ken
have
has
an effect
better,
pedal already, Brown.
Wow.
I think Ken has a better voice changer than Joe does.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
What about the voice
Well, Joe
changer?
doesn't really use his a lot though. Joe might have like 200 different effects if we're all but Ken's is better. Ken's his
Ken's,
signature sound. You know?
Ken's uses his for a lot to make his donation tracks with at times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to add.
I can't hear you.
Why is Ken doing a karaoke song like I do? It's fucked up.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, can you hear me now?
He does it with a look when Ken sings songs. He does it with a voice changer, bro. Like I do with a mic with echo. He does it with a voice changer. So come on, Ken, step up the game, brother.
So are you changing my voice right now?
A little bit better than before there.
Okay.
Hey, let's listen to Ken show. Tommy's on for a little bit. Let's listen.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. God bless. Thank you. Will Tactics chiming on in tonight. On my 43rd birthday, I am no longer part of the 42 Club.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not part of the 42 Club. Mostly everybody who was born.
All right, that should be enough there. All right. I think it's time we should probably end the show tonight, YR. You know.
Think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
So, Wire, do you have any drama to talk about?
Yeah, I don't have no drama to talk about at this time. No, unless something comes up there. So
Wire, do you have any drama to talk about?
No, we're gonna have to see what happens during this weekend, next couple of days, because it's when the main meat of these programs, the shows, the mainstays come on.
And we wore out and we wore out all these protests into the city streets. A subject a little bit too far now. I think the main thing we need to do is stop looting, stop thugging, and start doing it the right way, electing those who will get shit done.
Dr. Brown, are you going to call on the Foul Mouse?
I don't know yet. Right now, I got to do a couple things here at first, if I do. And plus,
it's the only original show in the community, by the way.
I know,
guys,
yeah.
so.
All right. So I think it's time we'll probably end it right here. Thank you, Keith Rebarber, for being on the call, and thank you to Simo as well for joining in on our main subject here.
Yeah,
right.
Keith, stay on the call with me so you can leave with Jamaican rap. Do a little Jamaican rap for the ending song. Outro.
Okay.
All right.
Good show, fellas.
All right. Have a good one, Simo.
All right, Simo. Everyone.
Take it easy.
You too, man.
Hey, hold on. Next week, let's do a top 10. God damn it, Simo.
Top 10 frontmans?
Frontmans.
Frontmans of bands.
What kind of band?
Singer. Frontman for the band. Singers.
Oh, okay.
Yes, definitely. Definitely gotta do that one there. This will keep it just top 10, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll be our next subject for our next program next week there. And for YR and myself and Keith or Barber, thank you for watching Metal Maniacs episode 8. Everybody
nice
have a
long show.
Nice long, very damn good show. We had a good topics going on up there. Definitely got to look into one of the subjects that Dave brought up later on during this broadcast, but definitely got to do that. So you have a good one, YR, and you two as well, Keith LaBarber. Okay, have a good one, guys. All
right.
All right, bye-bye.
Keith, oh, Keith, you're supposed to stay on the call.
Oh, shit. Probably have to call him back, dude.
Yeah, I'm calling back.
All right. I'll see you
Just
later.
making
What
All
do
right,
you-
brother.
All right, bye-bye.